Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was the grandson of Hashirama. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Kagami 1228 and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. Prologue. The village hidden in the leaves, better known as Konoha and viewed as the strongest of the 5 great hidden villages, is a peaceful place. The Leaf Village is known for its will of fire, which emphasizes how important teamwork was. Many legends spawned due to the beliefs held in the will of fire, fighting for their village's sake with that ideal embedded in their hearts. On 1 October 10th, 6 years ago, the birth of one boy would be the beginning of a new legend. That boy is a young, blonde boy named Naruto. Naruto is not an ordinary boy though, he is the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox, who attacked Konoha on the day of Naruto's birth incidentally. The attack was devastating and came out of nowhere. Many shinobi perished that night facing the Kyuubi, along with many civilian casualties. The sudden attack crippled Konoha considerably. And Konoha's destruction was imminent had it not been for the Yondaime Hokage, defeating and later sealing the Kyuubi into a newborn Naruto at the cost of his life. The Yondaime had wished that Naruto is seen as a hero, but unfortunately, that was for naught, as people viewed Naruto as the Kyuubi reincarnate. Although they did not openly hate or abuse young Naruto, his fate was worst being that his entire existence was seemingly ignored. Naruto became an orphan that night and as such had lived at the orphanage since birth. Just like with most orphans, being adopted by a family was all Naruto wanted since he could remember. Nothing was wrong with him as far as he knew. He was smart. The nice orphanage mother said he was handsome. Maybe his whisker mark likes cars. No, she said those added to his appeal. So why, like every other day, was he not adopted? He could not even get one of the families to even consider him. The orphanage had a plentiful of people come in, yet Naruto still felt all alone. What did I do to get this treatment? Thought Naruto sadly. At that same instance, something strange was happening in Konoha. Nothing too major, it just seemed like the vegetation around Konoha seemed to pale a little in color. Center of Konoha. In a building, directly in the heart of Konoha, there was a man seated behind a desk in an office looking into a crystal ball. He was none other than the Sandaime Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. Hiruzen is an old man with gray hair and a wrinkled face to go along with his age. Despite that, he is still acknowledged as the strongest in Konoha and is still considered one of the strongest shinobi in the world today. Behind Hiruzen was another man with silver hair, dressed in all black with gray armor and a dog-like porcelain mask. This was the Anbu captain code-named Inu. With one of his most trusted Anbu behind him, Hiruzen could not keep himself from sighing from what he was viewing. "Inu, do you think I've failed the Yondaime?" asked Hiruzen. "I could not say, although if I had to say something I'd state things could be made a little easier for the hero of Konoha," replied Inu. Maybe you're correct. I could make things easier for Naruto, starting with finding people who will at least acknowledge him. Maybe I'll go to the orphanage tomorrow and walk him around the village." "Sounds practical, Hokage-sama, I'm sure you will know what to do. If I may be dismissed." "Of course, have your report in later," said Hiruzen. Okay. "Oh, by the way, is it me, or does Konoha not seem as green as earlier?" said Inu before he disappeared in a poof of smoke. "It does, that's odd. It's not supposed to look like that, the only times I've seen it look like that was when Hashirama-sensei was sad over something. At times like the death of a ninja, but that was only due to his connection to nature via his Mokuton could it be?" stated a slightly shocked Hiruzen. The next day, the day at the orphanage started like any other for Naruto. He woke up, used the bathroom, brushed his teeth, got dressed, and ate breakfast. Then Naruto headed to one of his favorite places, the library. Naruto enjoyed reading about the history of Konoha and anything about it, and he was reading peacefully until he heard his name being called. Naruto placed his book back and took off down the stairs to answer the call. "Yes ma'am, you called me down, old man," stated a stunned Naruto noticing the Sandaime in the doorway. "Ah yes, indeed I am Naruto-kun, would you like to take a walk with me?" said an amused Hiruzen as he smiled down at the ecstatic boy in front of him. "1 second, mother, could I go with the Hokage for the day?" After an obvious yes from the woman, Naruto and the Hokage were off. The orphanage mother was proud that Naruto was polite enough, even in his shocked state, to still ask her permission despite the Hokage being in the room. As they were walking around Konoha, the Hokage decided to ask Naruto a few questions. "Naruto-kun. How have you been? I haven't seen you for a while." "I've been okay Jiji, everything's fine," Naruto said, trying to mask his sadness from Hiruzen. "Really? Are you sure you're okay? You haven't been feeling a little down as of late, feeling lonely over how people seem to ignore you?" Naruto stared bug-eyed at the Hokage. "How did you know?" "I am the Hokage, I make it a point to know. How about you tell me over some lunch?" Have you heard of a place called Ichiraku's?" "Sure, why not, and what's in Ichiraku's?" Several minutes later. "Ichiraku's, this is the food of gods. stated Naruto as he happily devoured his third bowl of the heavenly food called ramen. Not feeling at all depressed anymore from his earlier story to the Hokage of his lack of attention from the Konoha populace. Indeed it is Naruto, Ichiraku's has the best ramen in all the land of fire, possibly the world. And you are always welcome here, said Teuchi, the owner of Ichiraku's. Ikenjai-san. Always? Asked Naruto, who stopped eating awaiting a response. Before Teuchi could answer though, his young 10-year-old daughter, Am, answered first as she came around from behind the counter. Of course Naruto-kun, I'll always be here for you, we could be best friends, huh? As she hugged Naruto around the neck. Naruto became shocked, the girl he just met wanted to become his friend, his best friend, then he almost had a heart attack when she hugged him. It was his first hug from someone other than the Hokage, and he couldn't remember being happier. His first friend his age, Naruto felt immediate happiness. At that point, the Hokage, who was happy at the scene, decided to ask another question. Hey Naruto-kun, do you still want to become a ninja? While ending his hug with Am, Naruto replied with, of course. I want to get as strong as you so I could protect my friends and the village. That way everyone will have to acknowledge me, maybe I'll become Hokage so you can go back to your retirement home. After a round of chuckling from everyone, the Hokage said we'll see about getting you some training. We'll even get you an apartment close to my office so you can come to see me anytime. How does that sound? Naruto didn't answer, but due to the tearful face and the immediate hug Hiruzen was given, it was more of enough of an answer. This was the happiest moment of Naruto's young life. He was going to become a ninja. What he always wanted. As this was all going on, Konoha's plant life seemed to come alive. Trees grew seemingly immediately, flowers began blooming rapidly. Everything looked beautiful and to the one dubbed the professor, he had a pretty good idea what was going on. I think I know the perfect sensei for you Naruto-kun. It seems something amazing has come back to the leaf. Thought Hiruzen with a smile. Several months later, it had been a few months since Naruto started his new life. That life of moving to his apartment, meeting his sensei, and beginning his journey to become the best shinobi he could be. In those 6 months, Naruto did meet a few other kids his age that Naruto got along with better than expected. Those kids were a lot of clan children, since the shinobi families weren't telling their children to actively avoid him. They were Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akimichi, Kiba Inuzuka, and a quiet boy named Shino Aburam. Naruto got along with those 4 the most, but he did get the chance to meet Ino Yamanaka and Sakura Haruno, though it was sparse due to Sakura's mom taking Sakura away most of the time when Naruto came along and Ino leaving with her friend. Despite that, he did thoroughly enjoy his time with each of them and became quick friends. Happiness filled Naruto, he wasn't the most popular guy in Konoha, but he at least had friends that cared about him and enjoyed spending time with him. And nearly every weekend since Naruto's new life started, Naruto met with his sensei after the academy every day at a simple training ground. He only knew him because of his tiger mask and his short spiky brown hair. The Anbu was a pretty cool guy in Naruto's opinion. He was a calm, collected person. He wasn't a strict teacher, but he did instill a sense of perfection into Naruto's training. He mainly had him doing chakra control exercises, like the leaf balancing exercise, tree walking, and water walking to get his control up. Seeing how he couldn't do anything too strenuous due to not wanting to stunt the growth of a 6-year-old kid. He did notice that somehow despite Naruto being a Jinchuriki, his chakra control was amazing. It was shocking because usually, people with higher reserves didn't have good control of it. Naruto was quite the anomaly. But one thing he did find the most shocking was when he tested Naruto's affinity. The results shocked him. Tora handed Naruto a sheet of special chakra paper and told him how it worked. That when he channeled his chakra into it, it would either burn to ashes, Kaiten affinity, become soaked, Suiton affinity, crumble into dirt, Doton affinity, crinkle up, Raiten affinity, or split in half, Futon affinity. When Naruto did as instructed, the paper did something unprecedented. The paper split down the middle, creating 2 halves, then one side crumbled into dirt while the other side grew damp and became soggy. Whoa. Tora-sensei, does that mean I have 3 affinities? Stated an excited Naruto. As shocked as he was, Tora didn't allude Naruto to that fact. He was an Anbu, he could handle shocks like this, but it was still impressive, and you could tell from his tone when he said, yes Naruto, that is extremely rare and very impressive. It's so impressive I think I'll teach you 2 jutsu for 2 of your affinities, since they are both identical to mine. But you first have to carry out elemental manipulation for both, and we may even find some elemental manipulation on Wind too, but for now, let's start with Doton. Tora handed him a leaf and told him to channel chakra into it and attempt to turn it into dirt. Alright Tora-sensei, I can't wait for it, I'm gonna steal that hat from the old man in no time. Naruto said as he began to channel his chakra. He did notice someone walking toward an abandoned looking clan district. Hey, isn't that the Uchiha? Yes, it is. Sad what happened a couple of months ago with the massacre. Maybe it's best to stay away from him for a little while to let him cope with his loss, I couldn't imagine what he's going through. said Tora. Maybe you're right, sensei, hopefully, he doesn't get too sad about it. But honestly, how could I know, that pain is unbearable I bet. Naruto said as he watched him walk down the path forgetting about what he was doing. Hopefully, but aren't you supposed to turn that leaf turn into dirt? Questioned Tori as Naruto's eyes widened. Hi sensei. Naruto said as he began to concentrate once again. He continued doing this for a few hours making minimal progress, but progress nonetheless, until his sensei told him he had to leave. He did leave him with instructions to continue with his chakra control exercises and to keep at the leaf in his spare time. With that, he disappeared in a shunshin. That left Naruto to his own devices. Deciding that it was still too early to head home, Naruto went to the park to see if his friends were there. Hokage's office. While Naruto was hanging at the park, Tora arrived at the Hokage's office to give his report on Naruto's progress. Tora began with Naruto still surprises me, despite having enormous chakra reserves, he still maintains amazing control over his chakra, it's quite unbelievable. But that wasn't the biggest surprise of the day. Normally these reports had little merit since Naruto was just beginning his journey and did not do anything of too much substance since he was still underage. But due to the last thing his Anbu said, he was interested in hearing it. Please tell me what it is, asked Hiruzen. It was hard to keep the smirk off his face as he stated, I tested Naruto's elemental affinity today with chakra paper. I found out that Naruto has 3 chakra natures. Upon noticing the Hokage's dropped jaw, thrilled that he was able to tell him that info, he continued with, those 3 are wind, water, and earth. After a few moments of still being stunned, the Hokage stated. It seems Naruto-kun is blessed with amazing abilities, you remember when we found out he was a censor. Flashback. Now Naruto-kun, are you ready to meet your sensei and begin your training? Asked the Hokage. Naruto closed the door to his apartment as he said excitedly, yes I can't wait to become the best. With that, Naruto and the Hokage headed to a training ground located 15 minutes away from his apartment. They sat and talked for a few moments until Naruto abruptly stopped mid-sentence and looked to his left. A few seconds later, an Anbu in a tiger mask appeared in a swirl of leaves. The Hokage noticed this and asked Naruto how he knew the Anbu would arrive right there. What Naruto said shocked him. I don't know Jiji, I just kinda felt him coming and that was the direction he was coming from. I've always been able to do that, it's kinda weird. I also know what people are feeling too. Said Naruto unaware of what that meant exactly. That's the same as Mito-sama's negative emotion sensing. Thought the Hokage, well Naruto what are we both feeling at the moment then? Asked the Hokage. Jiji, you feel proud and tired. And the man with the tiger mask is feeling a little anxious and kind of excited. Said Naruto. A quick nod from the Anbu, the Hokage said. Naruto it seems you're a censor with abilities I've seen in only one person. With a look of excitement, Naruto questioned who? Who? And is it that good? Mito Uzumaki, she was the wife of the Shodaime Hokage. Before you ask, I'm not sure if you're related, I think your last names are just coincidental. And yes Naruto, it is one of the most powerful censor abilities recorded and with that, you're bound to be an amazing shinobi. No one would be able to deceive you, quite powerful indeed. Yada. I'll be the best shinobi in the world. Said an overjoyed Naruto. Present Konoha Park. While Tora was giving his report, Naruto had found his friends at the park. The whole gang was there, Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba, and Shino. They were all just doing nothing really when Naruto walked up and said hello. Hey Naruto, how are you man? Said an excited Kiba with a bark of greeting from Akamaru as well. I've been great, it must be cool coming from clans like all of you do, said Naruto. What do you mean and how do you know we are from clans? Said a curious Shikamaru as they never brought it up before. Naruto was too young to know about clans, right? Well while at the orphanage, I did a lot of reading about the history of Konoha and it gave a detailed explanation of the more prominent clans of Konoha. Like the Nara clan that you come from Shikamaru, known for its use of shadows, producing geniuses, and it is part of the Ino-Shikacho combination. That Choji here is also a part of, he is from the Akamichi clan, whose physical prowess is unmatched with their expansion jutsu. I also heard they own a few restaurants around Konoha. Kiba here is from the Inyazuka clan, known for their tracking ability and amazing taijutsu abilities. Also for the tag team of them and their partners like Akamaru there. And finally Shino from the Aburam clan, who specializes in tracking and the capturing of their enemies. They use bugs in almost all of their jutsus, and they are quite formidable in battle due to those bugs and their logic in formulating plans. Explained Naruto. At the end of his explanation, the group of 4 had varied reactions. Choji was happy that Naruto didn't talk about his weight, Kiba was happy that Naruto knew the Inyazukas were amazing, Shino gave a quiet nod of agreement, while Shikamaru was trying to figure out the enigmatic Naruto. Sometimes he was a regular goofy kid, but other times, Naruto had moments where he seemed like a ninja due to his knowledge and movements at times. But before he could say anything to find out more, Naruto had seemed to take off with Kiba in a race during his moment of thinking. Oh well, he had ample time to figure him out, why worry about it now, plus those clouds look appealing to him. Hokage's office. Well, at least Naruto's life has become better, wouldn't you say? Asked Hiruzen to no one in particular as he watched the scene from his crystal ball. From the window, the dog mask Anbu appeared. Yes, he seems happier and I'm glad for it. Am I still going to be his sensei when he graduates? Responded Inu. If all goes as planned, he'll be on the same team as Uchiha Sasuke so that you can teach them both. Minato, your sensei's legacy and the last remaining loyal heir of the Uchiha clan. I couldn't find a better teacher and watcher of those two if I got to create him from scratch. But Naruto will continue to work with Tora, allowing you more time to focus on Sasuke and their third member. But that Inu gestured a hand over his left eye. Sounds like a good plan. Well, if that is all, I'm off. Until next time, Hokage-sama. Bye Inu, I'll see you later. Said the Hokage as he stood up and looked out over his village. While overlooking his beautiful village, Hiruzen couldn't help but think, I can't wait to see what the future holds for the Leaf Village. I'm sure it'll be one that'll go down in the history books. Chapter 2. Revelations. Time skip 4 years later, Naruto aged 10, nearing 11. A young, blonde-haired boy could be seen walking through the streets of Konoha. This young man was of good height for his age, 4 feet 8 inches tall. He was wearing a sleeveless orange hoodie with a blue t-shirt underneath and matching blue shorts. He also wore a blue wristband on each wrist and had on blue shinobi sandals to complete his outfit. On his face were 6 whisker marks, 3 on each cheek, that adorned his tanned skin. He had blonde hair that rivaled his hero, the Yondaime Hokage's, complete with the 2 bangs framing his face. All in all, he looked like a carbon copy of the Yondaime, except he had violet eyes that he unknowingly got from his mother. It had been 4 years since Naruto began his journey to becoming the best ninja he could be. His training was going great. Due to his sensei's training methods, Naruto had progressed well for his age. How could Naruto not be? He has had a personal Anbu teacher since the age of 6. When asked what he wanted to specialize in, Naruto told his sensei that being a well-rounded shinobi with abilities not lacking in any of the major categories was his goal. Being the best shinobi possible was the true goal, and Tora knew deep down that ninjutsu would become his favorite and the shinobi skill Naruto would be best at. Naruto had learned that he had enormous chakra reserves for a boy his age and frankly for anyone of any age. Mostly due to the fox in his belly and the intricate seal placed on him that slowly siphoned off the Kyuubi's chakra to mix into his own. Normally, when a person has a large chakra reserve, they would have terrible control over it due to the amount of chakra they have. Naruto was weird in that his control over his chakra was impressive, way too impressive for someone with his chakra level. It seemed he had luck on his side for both sides of the coin being dealt his way without any of their drawbacks. Naruto's sensei had, from day one, drilled into him how to better use shuriken and kunai. Tora taught Naruto how to throw them accurately, and how to throw them with speed and power. Even though he wasn't the most precise of shinobi, he could still hit a bull's eye 8 out of 10 times with relative ease. After Naruto's 7th birthday, his sensei started to put him through physical exercises, still nothing that would halt the growth of his body. He had been given a workout to do and training weights to put on to build up his body. Naruto focused on speed as his main physical attribute. Naruto remembered reading in a book that the fastest shinobi is usually the winning shinobi. Plus the Yondaime was one of the fastest ninjas in history and he wanted to surpass him. So Naruto mainly worked on being quicker than his opponents. That's not to say his attacks lacked any power behind them. Naruto's progress into jutsu was minimal. That being due to his teacher not being proficient in it since Tora was an ninjutsu specialist. So Naruto had only learned the katas for the basic academy style taught in the academy. Despite that though, Naruto found ways to stress his abilities better and added his mix to the style. That's what the academy style is for, just a basic set of katas that are malleable enough to change and suit one person better. Naruto could keep up with nearly any, if not all, genin at this point if it came down to a taijutsu fight and he still had 3 more years until he became one. Naruto's progress in genjutsu was kind of so-so. Naruto hadn't been able to use any of the genjutsu taught to him by his sensei yet. He can detect them pretty easily up to most B ranks. Naruto could even break them with ease due to the enormity and potency of his chakra. Because Naruto's chakra had a presence alone. They discovered it when he first unlocked it. As the chakra came bursting out, Naruto created a small circle of spiderweb cracks in the ground beneath him. Naruto did not have any genjutsu in his repertoire yet, but he was certain by the time he graduated, he'd be able to use the few he got tasked with learning. Naruto truly shined in ninjutsu. He was a genius in the art. And with his 3 chakra natures, it was easy for him to use most elemental ninjutsu. Naruto first learned how to do the basic Academy 3, even the Bunshin no Jutsu, clone technique. Though it did take a few chakra control lessons to get it down to the required 3. Naruto had gotten so good at the Kawurami no Jutsu, body replacement technique, that he didn't need to use hand seals anymore. Tora even taught Naruto the Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker technique, and it was by far his favorite. Naruto was even trying to find a way to make it battle available by improving the speed of it. He hadn't gotten it there yet, but he would keep trying. Naruto also learned the first chakra nature manipulations for all three of his chakra natures, turning the leaf into dirt, soaking it, and finally splitting it in half. Naruto hadn't accomplished the next step for either one, as they were much more difficult and would take more time to do. His first elemental jutsu learned was the ever-versatile and defensive Doten. Doryuheki, Earth Style. Mud Wall. It was a technique that allowed the user to create a wall of mud to use as a defense, either spitting the mud out of his mouth or using pre-existing earth. Naruto also learned another versatile earth jutsu called Doten. Moragaku no Jutsu, Earth Style. Hiding like a mole technique, which allowed him to travel underground to avoid attacks. Naruto could even attack whilst underground as well. Earth was easily his favorite element so far and his go-to element. For Suiton, Naruto also learned two jutsus, both offensive. The first being Suiton. Haranyu, Water Style. Tearing Torrent, which allows the user to create water that spirals in the user's hand. The water then fires at a high speed towards the enemy. The other jutsu Naruto had learned was the basic Suiton. Suiton no Jutsu, Water Style. Water Bullet Jutsu. It's a basic water technique where the user spews forth water from his mouth in the form of a bullet-like fashion. It's comparable to the Kaiten. Enden, Fire Style. Flame Bullet. Naruto hadn't learned any wind-style jutsu yet, electing to just use it to add a deadly edge to his weapons. Adding wind chakra flow, Naruto's weapons gained an increase in their cutting power. His kunai and shuriken became all the deadlier, although, since he hadn't mastered the elemental manipulation for wind fully, they weren't as deadly as they could be. It was still better than not having anything. Naruto was happy with his progress in ninjutsu. He may not have over 1000 jutsu like Konoha's copy ninja, but he did master the ones he had. So much so, that with his chakra control and the continual practice of his ninjutsu, he had shortened the hand seals down to 1 for his Shunshin, one-handed ram seal, mud wall, and water bullet to none for his others. This increased his speed in battle as he didn't have to waste movement on all those hand seals like others may have to. At one point, about 2 years ago, Naruto received the shock of his young life. Flashback. 2 years ago, Naruto age 8. Naruto was on the training ground he'd been using since he was 6 and was nearing the end of his training for the day. He was finishing up with his Suiton jutsus. Naruto was training on top of the water while practicing, so he could also further his chakra control. He was training topless on the water as to not get all of his clothes wet. A little while later, Naruto began to run low on chakra from staying longer than normal. Normally, Naruto would notice when he was running low and stop as to not get chakra exhaustion. But he was too into trying to master his jutsu that he didn't notice. So when Naruto went to draw more chakra, what he got terrified him. Instead of his normal calm chakra, it seemed Naruto pulled from another chakra source. A source that contained powerful vile chakra that was extremely too much to handle for the blonde academy student. Naruto immediately stopped feeling the chakra and decided to end his training. As he looked down, he noticed black markings on his stomach that slowly began to fade away. Was that a seal? Why was there a seal on him? Did it hold his second chakra? Why does he have a second chakra anyway? Questions like that began to flutter through Naruto's mind and he was going to figure out the answers. After a month of researching, Naruto headed towards the Hokage tower to speak with the Hokage, someone who could truly answer his questions. Since reading about some stuff, Naruto decided to test his theory to the one man who should know the most about it. "Hey Gigi, thanks for seeing me. I have a few questions that I think only you can answer," said Naruto as he entered the Hokage's office after being let in by the secretary. "Ah yes, it is great to see you, my dear boy. What can I do for you Naruto-kun?" asked the Hokage with a smile after hugging Naruto. With the greeting out of the way, Naruto took a deep breath, held a serious face, and said, "Am I the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi?" A smile on Hiruzen's aged face dropped immediately at the words, Jinchuriki and Kyuubi. The Hokage immediately put on a serious face and questioned Naruto about how he came of knowledge about something like this. Naruto replied, "It's the only explanation I could come up with after doing some research. It all makes sense from my whisker marks to the fact that many people in Konoha ignore me and tell others to stay away from the fox brat. Not to mention the seal that appeared on my stomach when I was training with my shirt off. It appeared only after I had accidentally channeled some of its chakra. That's why I began researching how a person could contain 2 chakras, and the word that showed up was Jinchuriki, a title for those who house a tailed beast, and the only tailed beast that has been around Konoha since I was born is the 9-tailed fox. It was the only logical explanation. And even now based on your reaction, I'm assuming I am correct," said Naruto sadly as he realized that he was the Kyuubi, the same Kyuubi that attacked Konoha 8 years ago, and the people of Konoha's treatment was justified. Hiruzen was heartbroken that Naruto had come to find out his status as Konoha's Jinchuriki without anyone telling him. He hadn't wanted to tell him until he was at least a Chunin, but it seemed that was too much to hope for. Now Naruto-kun, yes you do house the Kyuubi, but do not mistake that as being the fox itself. You're Naruto, not the Kyuubi. It's no different from a sealing scroll in a kunai. Just because you seal a kunai into a scroll, that doesn't make the scroll a kunai. It's just a scroll with a kunai in it. The same as you, although it's a very deadly kunai with 9 tails. Do you understand? Naruto, who had become saddened, cheered up slightly upon hearing that. Though he still had a few more questions. Yeah, I got it, but why was I chosen as the one that housed the Kyuubi? Because you were the only one the Yondaime could trust the village's safety to. You were a hero ever since birth, as you protect Konoha more than any other person, including me, with being our Jinchuriki. Who were my parents? Did they just hand me over to the Yondaime for that purpose and leave me alone to handle this by myself? Can you tell me about them yet? Questioned Naruto with a teary and hopeful face. Naruto-kun, do not think like that. I know personally that your parents were great ninjas and even better people. Whether they handed you over to the Yondaime to become the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, I cannot say, as it's an S-rank secret, just like the knowledge of your parents. You are a precious Jinchuriki, and knowledge of your heritage could be harmful to Konoha in the long run. So it's being kept secret from everyone, even you. However, I can tell you that they fought valiantly in keeping the fox from assaulting the village, in that they gave their lives protecting it. They were both exemplary shinobi and even better friends. And like I said before, I can't give you information about them. Your parents had a lot of enemies and it would be unwise to have it somehow get out. Other villages may find out and want to attack Konoha just to get rid of you. Said the Hokage with a stern face that left no room for argument. But I promise, when you're strong enough, you'll find out their names. Is that a deal? Aw, they must have been awesome to have that many enemies and to give birth to the future greatest ninja ever. I can't wait for the day I get to find out who they are. I'm gonna hold you to your promise, old man. Said a now motivated Naruto. One last question, can we go see the sunset from the top of the Hokage mountain? Asked a now puppy-eyed Naruto. The Hokage said nothing as a smile came to his face. He placed one hand on Naruto's shoulder and they were off in a shunshin to the top of the Yondaime's head. As they were watching the sunset, they couldn't help but notice how beautiful the village looked at the moment. They sat in relative silence until Naruto spoke up suddenly. I want to protect this peace, said Naruto in a low tone. So low that the Hokage barely heard him. You want to do what, Naruto-kun? I want to protect this peace, this beautiful moment, and how happy I can sense the village is. I want to protect it. I want to do everything in my power to keep this place like this. That's why I will be the Hokage, to keep this village safe. No matter what, I will protect my home and anyone who tries to harm it, whether they are my comrade, friend, or even my parent, I will show no mercy to them in defending it. Then I'll be able to show everyone that I'm Naruto, not the Kyuubi. Then everyone will have to acknowledge me and start treating me like somebody important. I will become the Hokage and that's a promise. And I never go back on my word, that's my ninja way. Spoke a highly passionate Naruto. The Hokage couldn't speak as he saw the face of the Shodai appear in Naruto's place during his speech. Naruto had just invoked in him the same amount of passion he had when Hashirama told him what it was to become the Hokage. It was incredible to see the will of fire burn brightest in this 8-year-old child and he couldn't keep the smile off his aged face. Indeed you will, Naruto, indeed you will, thought Hiruzen to himself and he finished watching the sunset with Naruto. Flashback end. Ever since that day, Naruto's training seemed to amplify due to the effort he put into becoming better. He took things more seriously and trained harder every day. Despite that, he still made time for his friends. Mainly through the academy since they all entered at the age of 6. In the academy though, Naruto decided that he didn't need to show all of his abilities. Thus he established himself as one of the middle students in his class. He didn't feel it necessary to become the rookie of the year or anything for that matter, as it meant nothing to him. Plus he had read that information was one of the most powerful tools a shinobi could use, so he hid his power to not show too much. Naruto knew that he was by far the strongest of his age group, even if no one else did. He was far more advanced than his classmates, even Sasuke. But Naruto knew that if Sasuke ever awoke his Sharingan, he could catch up to Naruto quickly. But what Naruto didn't know was that he had his trump card revealed that afternoon. After finishing his day at the academy, Naruto made his way to the training ground he had frequented since 6. Upon noticing that he was early, Naruto decided he'd get started anyway. After placing on his training weights, he began to go through a few physical exercises before his sensei arrived. After about an hour of just training, Naruto sensed his sensei approaching. He immediately stopped what he was doing to see what was on the agenda for the week. "Hello Naruto, how are you today?" said Tora upon arriving. After Naruto greeted back in kind, he continued with, "Now Naruto, your training has come out fantastic and as your sensei, I couldn't be prouder. With that being said, I have a new jutsu for you to learn and I think you'll be able to use it." Naruto began to immediately get excited at the prospect of learning a new jutsu. He would have another jutsu to add to his arsenal and it would further increase his battle capabilities. "Are you ready?" "Good, here we go." This jutsu is an advanced version of the Bunshin no Jutsu clone technique where you'll be making a clone of yourself. Although unlike the standard clone, this will be a physical clone. With that in mind, the hand seals for the jutsu are tiger, dog, snake. Now you'll have to channel a bit of chakra into it as it does have a higher cost. "Go ahead, try it until you get it," said Tora as he held an anxious air about him awaiting the results. Naruto remembered the hand seals easily and did them slowly one at a time. When he finished, he channeled a lot of chakra into the jutsu while thinking of making a clone of himself. When nothing occurred, Naruto looked confused for a moment and thought he did it wrong until his sensei told him to try again as it was difficult to do. With a few pointers here and there from his sensei and an hour of steady attempts of the jutsu, Naruto finally got a result. An exhausted Naruto, for the 100th time in the past hour, flew through the hand seals for the jutsu and channeled a bit of chakra into it. Unlike other times, Naruto felt a pull at the back of his neck but it went away as soon as it came. Thinking he should tell his sensei, Naruto looked up to his sensei, but his sensei was pointing behind him. Turning around, Naruto looked to see what his sensei was pointing at. He gasped at the sight of another him that had turned around at the same moment and gasped as well. It was him and they seemed to mask each other perfectly. As if he was staring at a mirror. "It's me!" shouted both Narutos at the same time. "You look awesome. This is so cool," said both Narutos at the same time. They both then proceeded to get to know one another and found out they liked the same things ironically. An amused Tora looked at the sight of Naruto and his interaction with his clone, but when they started talking about ramen, he thought it had gone far enough. Naruto. Both Narutos got scared at the sight of their sensei having that creepy ghost teller light cast upon him. They were wondering where he pulled that flashlight from to get such lighting. "Now Naruto, you don't realize that what you have just done has only been accomplished by 2 people in the history of Konoha. Making a clone of myself. I've seen other people make clones of themselves all the time, how could only 2 people have done it?" questioned one of the Narutos since he thought it was a bunch of bull. Tora chuckled a little as he said, "Naruto, that clone jutsu you used is the Moku Bunshin no Jutsu, wood clone technique. It's a solid clone of oneself made of wood. It can only be accomplished by those that have the Kekai Genkai made famous by the Shodaime Hokage, Mokuton." At this, both Naruto's jaws hit the floor. This news surprised them since they knew all about the bloodline having seen it in many books. The ability to convert one's chakra into life. Naruto was truly happy that he was connected to someone in some way. And a Hokage to boot. But this bloodline, it meant Naruto's lineage stemmed from the first Hokage. He was a senju. He had a clan. A family. Naruto and his clone then proceeded to start celebrating together, completely forgetting their earlier exhaustion. "Does that mean I'm a senju sensei?" "It's the only way right, bloodlines can only be passed down to those only with the same blood right." After receiving a nod from his sensei, Naruto continued in his moment of euphoria with dances and the whistling of a tune. He was Senju Naruto. He was going to put the Senju clan crest on his back and wear it proudly. Throughout Naruto's jumps for joy, he didn't notice the garden of flowers that would spring up underneath him every time he landed as they were responding to his happiness. Even though Tora was happy for the new Senju, he still noticed a few flaws in Naruto's jutsu and as a sort of a perfectionist, he pointed them out. "Naruto, you did make a wood clone of yourself, but it's not perfect." After seeing both Naruto's confused looks, Tora elaborated, "Well, first off, your clone looks like a puppet, that's not supposed to happen. Secondly, his arm is reminiscent of tree bark, definitely not supposed to happen. And thirdly, he's not even the same height as you. The clone must be the same, he should look like a perfect copy of you down to every detail. Just like a transformation, if it's not done properly the enemy will immediately see through the rows and use that to their advantage." After a nod of agreement from Naruto, Tora began to say goodbye for the week. "Now that you have a new jutsu, I want you to practice making it perfect for the week, along with the other exercises you normally do. When you complete the jutsu, I'll show you another Mokuton jutsu to add to your list. Now I'm off to have a chat with Hokage-sama, so I will see you later." Oh, and Naruto, the Senju clan is a feared clan on equal par with the Uchiha clan. Especially Hashirama because of his Mokuton abilities. So for now, refrain from telling or showing anyone your Mokuton, as it could lead to dire consequences. "Got it." After another nod from Naruto. Tora bid him farewell and whisked away to meet with the Hokage. Hokage Tower. The Hokage had been spying on Naruto the entire time through his crystal ball, and as Tora came out of his floorboard said, "So Naruto-kun has the Mokuton I see," said the Hokage with a knowing smile. "You don't seem at all surprised by that news, Hokage-sama, did you know he had it all along even before you asked me to test it?" Hiruzen ended watching Naruto as he took a drag from his pipe. After blowing out the smoke, he stated, "I've had my suspicions for a while. When Naruto was 6 years old, I noticed that when he was sad, the vegetation around Konoha would dim slightly, and when he was happy, it would be abuzz with life and grow exponentially more vibrant. I had only seen that in one other person, that person being Hashirama-sensei. And that was only because of his connection to nature via his Mokuton. So I had always believed he would be able to use it, I just wanted to wait till he was mature enough to know not to blab it out for the world to know. Why do you think I chose you to train him? There's no one better to help him learn how to harness his bloodline better than you. Of course Hokage-sama, that seemed like the best option, and I am the most inclined to teach Naruto about his Mokuton. I will teach him all I can about it in the coming years before his graduation and team placement under his sensei. Also, Naruto has decided he wants to use the Senju surname to honor his connection to Hashirama. He reasoned that being able to use Hashirama's abilities must make him a part of his family, so he wanted to use his clan's name as his own. Of course he can, I'm sure Tsunade-chan would want to hear of this, since she used to be the last remaining Senju, though it is hard to get in touch with her these days ever since she left the village, replied Hiruzen. Yes indeed, I'm sure she would enjoy knowing that she has family left. Maybe it'd be enough to get her to return. We can only hope. If that is all Hokage-sama? Asked Tora as he began to sink back into the floor. Yes of course, until next week, said Hiruzen as he took another drag from his pipe. Things are looking up around here. I hope it's not bad, allowing Naruto usage of that last name. I'll be able to handle anything. Today has been good. Thought the old Hokage, but he immediately regretted that thought as he saw his secretary come in with a huge stack of paperwork. I just had to think that bring it on paperwork. The next day, on another beautiful day in Konoha, we find Naruto headed to the academy. Naruto was running a little late as had a long day yesterday. From revealing his bloodline to Tora, to his name change, to even the long process of putting the Senju clan emblem on the back of his hooded jacket. He soon arrived and knocked on the door to his class. After a moment, a voice was heard saying "Come in Naruto," then strolled into class. As he walked in he saw his teacher, Iruka Yamino, staring at him intently. Iruka was a man of average height and build. He had black hair that he kept in a ponytail and a horizontal scar across his nose. He wore the standard Chunin outfit of Konoha, complete with a blue headband tied around his forehead. Iruka is a kind-hearted man, despite that though, upon first seeing Naruto treated him with indifference like most. But after a while, Iruka became more friendly towards Naruto after seeing his interactions with his friends and talking to him himself. Despite Naruto becoming his favorite student, Iruka still took no favoritism as he was ready to scold Naruto for his tardy. "Naruto, why are you 15 minutes late to class today?" "Sorry Iruka-sensei, I had a crazy day yesterday, I found out I'm from a clan," said Naruto. Naruto was not the most popular kid in school. But everyone that got to know the gentle boy knew how amazing a person he was. They also knew that Naruto was a clanless orphan. So when he stated that he was from a clan, everyone's attention glued onto him as to find out which one. Upon noticing the looks from everyone, Naruto decided to elaborate as he turned around to show off his clan crest before speaking. "I'm a member of the Senju clan, from now on, just call me Naruto Senju." Normally such an announcement would be ludicrous, but the sealed note from the Hokage with approval lessened the doubts to nil. Iruka read the note and told the class that the Hokage himself acknowledged Naruto's belonging to the clan. Immediately when Iruka said Naruto was a Senju, the classroom was abuzz with commotion. The Senju clan was the strongest in Konoha. Naruto's a Senju. Damn, he just got hotter. Troublesome. Amid all the commotion, Iruka fainted upon hearing the shocking news from Naruto. Sasuke becomes slightly interested in Naruto. Sasuke knows all about the history of his clan and the Senju clan and the rivalry between Hashirama and Madara. Once Iruka got up from his dazed state and settled down the class, it was time for Taijutsu sparring. After a few fights and a give up from Shikamaru, it came as no surprise that Naruto would be challenged by Sasuke, which he accepted. Thus we have it, Uchiha vs Senju. Of course, everyone's eyes became glued to the spar. Sasuke got into the Uchiha clan's interceptor fist as Naruto took up his slightly modified academy stance. With a quick shout of Hajime, the battle was on. Despite the signal to start, neither Sasuke nor Naruto moved for about a minute. That changed when a leaf landed on the mat and both fighters took that as the signal to begin and sprinted at each other. Sasuke started with a few quick jabs attacking Naruto in different places but grew surprised when Naruto seemed to dodge them effortlessly. Upon seeing this, Sasuke decided to kick it up a notch and throw in kicks with his punches to catch Naruto off guard. But despite all those strikes, in the end, Naruto backflipped away from a kick without taking one hit. Sasuke couldn't believe it. But the spectators. Shikamaru Nara muttered a troublesome. Upon being questioned by Ino for why he said it, he decided to explain, "I knew Naruto was better than he let on. I had my suspicions since I first met him 4 years ago at the park. Plus, in all his other spars he would rarely get hit as well. It sometimes looked as if he let himself be hit. Even with that, they were only light grazes at best. He's way too good for any of us, including Sasuke at the moment. How can that be? I thought Sasuke was the best in our class. Asked a confused Ino. Naruto is stronger than what he let be known. Why is he showing us his power now? Because he has a clan to represent. Spoke Shino logically. How can Naruto be stronger than Sasuke-kun? Sasuke-kun is the best. Yelled Sakura, who got cheers of agreement from a few fangirls nearby. Are you sure Naruto's that strong? He could just be getting lucky, asked a confused Kiba, who was slowly watching himself become third best in Taijutsu. It's too much work to explain it, said Shikamaru as he proceeded to lay down and close his eyes. Lazy ass, thought everyone. Back to the spar. Sasuke had become increasingly frustrated at not being able to touch Naruto. As a result, his style got a little sloppy and Naruto took advantage. Sasuke threw a very predictable straightforward punch at Naruto, and Naruto surprised him when he grabbed his wrist. Deciding that at least he and Naruto finally touched during the spar, Sasuke decided to continue pressing forward with a high kick to Naruto's chin. Just like his punch, his kick was also caught by Naruto. Sasuke barely caught Naruto's grin as he soon found himself on his back after a leg sweep from Naruto. Sasuke then felt a kick in the ribs from Naruto that sent him skidding across the mat a few feet. Gasps were heard at the quick display of prowess from Naruto. Naruto handled Sasuke in their last exchange and frankly the spar. But Sasuke wasn't done. After catching his breath, he quickly got up and elected to come in with a feint left hook that disguised a knee strike to Naruto's gut. But it was all for naught as he was on the receiving end of a vicious elbow to his knee from Naruto that placed his leg right back down. Then Sasuke felt the quickest 2 punches he had ever received since joining the academy. From the pain in his knee to the momentary daze from the punches, Sasuke was left wide open for Naruto. Seeing Sasuke's stunned state, Naruto decided to end the spar with a follow-up uppercut to the stomach that doubled over Sasuke and finally with a quick elbow strike to the back of the neck to send Sasuke off into unconsciousness. Everyone became shocked at the display because up until that point, Naruto never showed that level of skill before. He was good, but it was always believed that Sasuke was the best. Not after that brutal and quick defeat. Naruto was incredible and was now being shown in a new light. It seemed there was more to the kind boy they had come to know. What Naruto didn't know was that the ass-kicking he handed Sasuke just now would be the spark he needed to activate his Sharingan. Sasuke had his Sharingan since he was 6 years old from the massacre of his clan. He just needed enough of a catalyst to make them spring forth again. And that was more than enough. Now, Sasuke would train harder than ever. Not to kill Itachi, but to get on the same level as Senju Naruto. And with his Sharingan now activated, he was going to try to close that gap. Later that day, when the academy closed that day, since it was one of Naruto's off days for training, he decided to head to his favorite restaurant, Ichiraku's. He wanted to catch up with his first friends outside of the Hokage and devour his weekly ramen. As Naruto pushed back the flap of the restaurant, he yelled, "Hey old man. 1 large miso ramen please." "Ah, Naruto, how is my favorite customer doing these days? You look well," said Tucci as he began to make Naruto's dish. "Old man, I feel great, I learned something about myself the other day." "Something big?" As Tucci finished Naruto's ramen, he handed it off to Am who asked. "And what would that be Naruto-kun?" "First off Am-chan, did I ever tell you that having a beautiful girl, like yourself, bring me ramen is probably the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's like a dream really," said Naruto as he began to slurp his noodles unaware of Am's blushing face. Thank you Naruto-kun, now tell us about your big news," said Am as she fought down her blush. "Oh right," said Naruto as he had somehow gotten to his second bowl of ramen. "Where did he get that second bowl from?" "Yesterday, I found out that I am a part of a clan, the Senju clan. Can you believe it? Naruto Senju, future Hokage of Konoha and ramen connoisseur. Believe it?" Both Am and Tucci froze at Naruto's declaration. Senju, as in Hashirama and Tobirama, the first 2 Hokages, Senju. They're Naruto, the same Naruto they had met only 4 years ago. They were so into their thoughts that they didn't register when Naruto said goodbye to them after finishing his 3rd bowl of ramen. Wait, his 3rd bowl? When did he get 3 bowls of ramen? Am only brought 1. Sometime later, as Naruto was walking home, he happened to overhear a civilian say something that put a smile on his face. "Did you hear? That kid is a Senju, and I heard he defeated the Uchiha prodigy with ease today. Maybe that boy is not the demon fox. Maybe he is just a kid. For him to beat the Uchiha kid, that must make him a genius as well, right? To be from the famed Senju clan, he could be. I don't want to get ahead of myself, so I'll just wait until I hear more about him." Overhearing that conversation, Naruto couldn't help but be happy. The process of getting Konoha to see him as him was starting. It was only one person today, but everyone had to start somewhere, right? Chapter 3. Genin. Time skipped 3 years later, Naruto age 13, nearing 14. The day was the day Naruto would finally become a shinobi of Konoha. A prepared Naruto was ready for the Genin exam today. It had been a journey that started with him crying into the Hokage's robes when he was 6 up to this very moment now. And boy, Naruto was feeling good. Naruto had grown to a nice height of 5 feet 4 inches tall. He even changed his wardrobe due to him becoming an actual shinobi today. Naruto wore a black unzipped tracksuit with 3 orange stripes on each sleeve with a mesh shirt on underneath. To finish his outfit, he wore black pants and black sandals. His hair was still identical to the Yandame's, and his face matured more to show his age. Naruto had many good things going for him at this point. He was handsome, smart, and quite powerful for his age. His training was still progressing at a great rate. Naruto yielded incredible results over the years under the tutelage of Tora, his Anbu sensei. Naruto felt on top of the world and was ready for whatever the shinobi world had in store for him. Naruto's chakra reserves only increased at this point. He could easily throw around jutsu after jutsu without feeling the usual effects of exhaustion like other ninjas. Naruto was a chakra monster, and it didn't help that his chakra control had only gotten better. It wasn't high enough to use something like Iryo ninjutsu, medical ninja techniques, which require precise chakra control, but it wasn't far off from it either. Naruto also found time to delve into fuinjutsu, sealing techniques. The Sandame was messing around with Naruto after Naruto claimed to want to surpass the Yondame. Hiruzen told him that since the Yondame was a sealing master and if Naruto wanted to truly surpass him, he'd have to become one as well. He didn't expect Naruto to ask him for lessons right after, but was sort of happy he did. They met twice a month since the Hokage was a busy man, but Naruto had done well. His handwriting had become perfect, well at least good enough by fuinjutsu standards. There were 10 levels of fuinjutsu and Naruto was on level 2, which dealt with storage seals, and the efficiency of making them as a storage seal was one of the simplest seals. He had gotten it down to 45 seconds when making one and couldn't progress to the next level until he got it below 30 seconds. Due to his sensei's training regimen, Naruto honed the shinobi basics until he got them down to near perfection. His accuracy with using and throwing shuriken kunai became second nature to him. He was now just as accurate on the run, blindfolded or in midair as he was standing still. It was a perfect 10 of 10 on the bullseye. Naruto's taijutsu blossomed well along with his shuriken skills. Despite still only using his modified academy style, he was still formidable in it. His speed nearly doubled with all the exercises he did and the heavier training weights he was now using. Naruto learned to even add chakra to his strikes to make them slightly more powerful. Now it wasn't to the extreme of one of the famed Tsunade Senju punches, but it bolstered his attack strength. Tora had said that in a flat-out taijutsu fight, Naruto could best most Chunin at his current level. Ninjutsu progressed nicely for Naruto as well. He finally got down the 2 Jinjutsu his sensei taught him. One of those being Meijin. Jigoku Koka no Jutsu, demonic illusion. Descending Hell technique, which creates the illusion of a huge fireball falling from the sky toward the target. It is only a C rank and pretty easy to spot and dispel. His second Jinjutsu was more effective than his first one, the Nihin Shohin no Jutsu, Temple of Nirvana technique, which generates sleep-inducing imaginary white feathers that upon being seen make the target fall into a tranquil state of slumber. When it comes to spotting Jinjutsu, Naruto had gotten better and his ability to break them had moved up to a few A ranks. He was fine with that at the moment. Like always, Naruto's ninjutsu progressed the most, so much so that he seemed like a specialist. Yet and still, Naruto managed to add a lot of new ninjutsu to his arsenal, though most were for his, still hidden, Mokuton. Naruto finally got his Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker technique, battle ready. No leaves or smoke, just a simple after image. It couldn't catch Keenite or Chunin level opponents off guard, but it was still something at least. On to his element progression, for Doton, Naruto added only one new jutsu to his list. That jutsu being the powerful Doton. Doryuiden, Earth style. Earth Dragon Bullet, which creates a mud dragon, which proceeds to rapid-fire mud bullets at a target. Naruto still favored Doton over Suiton and Futen, and as such, used them the most. For Suiton, Naruto added another B rank like his Earth Dragon. The Suiton. Sugaden, Water Fang Bullet, which creates a powerful liquid mass brought forth from the water as it becomes compacted and adds a spinning motion to increase damage. It was a great jutsu and one that attacked an opponent in a 360 around them with multiple rising fang-like water attacks. In Futen, Naruto finally learned a jutsu for his third element. It was simple, but a great technique that would grow as Naruto grew. Futen. Tatapa, Wind Style. Great Breakthrough was a technique that created a sudden gust of wind that with enough skill could become more than just a C-rank jutsu. Its power depended entirely on the user. Since awakening his Mokuton, Naruto spent the most time getting better at it as it easily became his favorite element. Mokuton had the strength of earth and water's fluidity. It was the perfect element in Naruto's opinion. And Naruto soaked up as much on it as he could from his sensei as possible in the last 3 years. Naruto already knew the Moku Bunshin no Jutsu, wood clone technique, and had finally perfected it. After the clone technique, Naruto learned the ever-versatile Mokuton. Daijirin no Jutsu, wood style. Great forest technique, which changes one's arms into branches. It could be used to either capture an enemy, or there could be sharp stakes added to the end of the branches to add a deadly edge. Another jutsu Naruto had mastered was Mokuton. Mikuja Heki, wood style. Wood locking wall, which creates a powerful domed wall made of interlocking wooden pillars. And finally, Tora taught Naruto his favorite jutsu thus far, Mokuton. Jukai Koten, wood style. Nativity of a sea of trees that creates a forest in mere moments. And he was only getting better. Naruto also learned his sensei's name, Tenzo. Naruto also figured out Tenzo could use Mokuton as well. Upon asking if he and Tenzo had any relation to one another, Naruto learned that Tenzo was a product of an experiment done by Orochimaru that gave him the ability. Despite his ability to use Mokuton, since it is injected into him, he couldn't use it on the same scale as Hashirama. Naruto didn't have that problem, his Mokuton was genetically passed down, and it showed when his Mokuton was noticeably stronger than his sensei's despite just learning it. Naruto had room to grow, and his power could match Hashirama's in Mokuton, given enough time. After Naruto's 12th birthday, Tenzo decided it was time for the meeting to take place between Jinchuriki and Biju. Flashback. Almost 2 years ago, Naruto aged 12. "You want me to meet the Kyuubi?" asked an anxious Naruto. He was not scared or anything, more like excited to finally meet his Biju. Tenzo smiled at Naruto's eagerness and said, "Yes Naruto, I think it's time you set up a relationship with the Kyuubi. There's no point in having all that ability and not using it." Naruto was ready. There was silence for a moment. "How do I meet the Kyuubi?" asked a sheepish-looking Naruto. Tenzo couldn't keep from chuckling at Naruto's expense. It's been said that when a Jinchuriki mediates, they can consciously enter their mindscape to interact with their Biju, so that's what you're going to do. Have at it. So Naruto did as instructed and sat in the lotus position and clasped his hands together in a ram seal. After about 10 minutes of steady breathing, Naruto felt a tug in his mind. When he opened his eyes, Naruto noticed he was in a tunnel. Looking behind him, he saw a wall, so Naruto went down the only path, which was forward. After what seemed like an hour, which wasn't a whole second in the real world, Naruto met a cage. A huge cage. After not noticing another presence or any movement behind it, Naruto began to wonder if he went the correct way. "Hello?" After no response, Naruto thought he did something wrong and was about to leave until an eye opened. A giant, red, slitted eye. Then another opened. And finally, the shadows covering a massive fox with 9 tails lifted. "So this is my Jinchuriki. Finally, come to meet me I see," said Kyuubi after staring at Naruto. "Yes I am, my name is Senju Naruto, and I am happy to finally meet you," said Naruto with a smile. Normally I'd tear you to shreds just because, but your chakra is very calming, and it's soothing. Not to mention this cage and seal keeping me from doing so. So in the meantime, I'll humor you," replied the Kyuubi as it placed its head on its crossed arms. Naruto didn't show outwardly a reaction to the prospect of being torn to shreds, but he did gulp on the inside. "Well, I just wanted to get to know you better. You've been in here for 12 years and I still know nothing about you besides what legends say," said Naruto as he continued with, "Well, when I was researching the Biju, I found out there are 8 other like you in the world. And one thing I noticed was that the Ichibi has a name, Shukaku. So it made me wonder, do all of you have names? If so, what's yours?" The Kyuubi became shocked. It had been able to hear what the boy sensei had said this visit would be for and thought his Jinchuriki would just come in here demanding power. So when the Kyuubi heard Naruto's question, you could hear the surprise in its voice. "You, a kid, are the first human to ask if I have a name for as long as I have existed in this world, for that I thank you," said the Kyuubi as he became more interested in his container. "Kurama, my name is Kurama." Naruto couldn't keep the smile off his face, this had started better than expected. "Well Kurama, if I may, why did you attack Konoha?" said Naruto as he held a stern face. He had always wanted to know since it never added up to him that the Kyuubi would just attack out of nowhere. "To be honest, a man with a Sharingan manipulated me. Just because I'm near omnipotent, I don't go around destroying places just because I can. So well hypnotized by this masked man, he set me upon your village until your yonde managed to seal me into you. Well, it's good to know that you didn't attack Konoha of your own volition or that you're not a homicidal Biju hellbent on destruction. Can you explain why this place looks like this? I'd thought it'd be more complex like the seal on me," said Naruto as he thought it looked like a sewer. "It is not a sewer kit," said Kurama as Naruto looked shocked but then remembered, he was in his mind. So obviously his thoughts could be heard here. "And for why it looks like this I cannot say. Though it is cozier in here with your Mokuton infused chakra circulating throughout this place, permeating the air here. Well, as long as you're comfortable then I'm okay with it. Now, down to the nitty-gritty of why I'm here. My sensei sent me in here to somehow find a way to gain access to your chakra. I figured we could become partners. You do realize that with your Kekai Genkai, you could just steal my chakra at will, right? Yet you still ask me to use it? Asked a confused Kurama. I wouldn't like it if someone just stole my chakra. I'd want them to ask permission, and you know the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. So I decided to ask you if you'd lend it to me. What a surprising kid. From what I've seen of his life and his thoughts, I can tell he's different from the rest. Maybe I'll give this kid a chance. But mainly because it would be foolish for a Jinchuriki to not have access to his Bijuu's chakra. Thought Kurama before he said, sure kid. But first, there are risks when using my chakra. My chakra is extremely powerful, too powerful for you to wield a lot of it at your current level. At most you may only be able to use a tail of it while still being able to control it without harming the wrong people. It wouldn't matter even if you could use more, the seal is so tight that only a tail of my chakra is accessible to you at this moment, you'd have to find a way to loosen it somehow. Even then, you'll have to earn my trust to gain further access to my chakra. Well, can't I just rip that seal tag off? Said Naruto. It's not that simple. This piece of paper means nothing unless you loosen the seal itself. Plus I wasn't going to give you more than one tail in the first place, so don't worry about it for now. Said Kurama. Naruto agreed with what his Bijuu said and decided he would do all he could to earn Kurama's trust. I mean, if Kurama was there, why shouldn't they be friends? He was just glad that he had been given access to his Bijuu's power in the first place. After an exchange of goodbye, Naruto left his mindscape. When Naruto returned to the physical world, he noticed Tenzo still standing there looking at him expectantly. Catching the hint, Naruto channeled some of Kurama's chakra and entered his Jinchuriki state. Well, what do you think? Asked Naruto as he was now covered in a shroud of reddish-orange chakra. Tenzo became impressed. He didn't believe Naruto would be able to get access to his Bijuu's chakra, but, looks great Naruto, I can feel the oppressive chakra bearing down on me. But is that as far as you can go? If not, go as far as possible and then tell me how you feel. Naruto nodded his head as he channeled a little more of Kurama's chakra and entered a one-tail state. Instead of just a flame-like shroud, Naruto's cloak morphed into a bubbly red chakra that took on a fox's shape, complete with a tail of chakra swishing behind him. I feel incredible. I feel faster and a lot stronger. This chakra. It's full of energy. Life energy, it feels like. Naruto performed the snake hand seal and thought Mokuton. Jukai Koten, wood style. Nativity of a sea of trees. Instantly trees sprouted from the ground all around Naruto at a much quicker pace than before and were even taller as well. Seemed Kurama's chakra has its perks. My Mokuton is stronger when using this chakra. I love it, said Naruto as he moved around a little to test out how he felt using it. Seems we should spar so you begin getting used to using your Bijuu's chakra. This will help so you're not attacking your teammates, said Tenzo as he readied for Naruto's assault. Let's go wild. Flashback end. Good times, said Kurama in Naruto's head. Naruto and Kurama were now on good terms throughout nearly 2 years of knowing each other. It was a weird relationship. But then again, what wasn't weird about a 13-year-old human boy and a fox-shaped collection of energy that was given consciousness being friends? As Naruto was heading to the academy, a kind woman outside her shop greeted him. Hello, Senju-san. It is good to see you this morning. Today's the day of the Genin exam, correct? After a smile and nod from Naruto, she continued, well, good luck and do your best, I'll be rooting for you. Said the woman as she waved goodbye with a smile. Naruto smiled and waved back as he continued toward the academy. Things changed since he became a Senju. Though it did take a month, a few blood test results, and a verbal promise of authenticity from their longest tenured Hokage for the Konoha populace to finally accept Naruto's stature as a Senju. Even still, he still wasn't the most popular person in Konoha. The name meant nothing, even the Senju clan name, because he was still perceived as the Kyuubi that attacked on his birth. But a few people, such as the woman just now, had begun to open up to him. So into his thoughts about his training, Kurama and Konoha, Naruto didn't realize he was stepping into his classroom. Once he noticed it, he immediately headed toward the open seat next to Sasuke. Sasuke had opened up to Naruto after that beatdown he received that day 3 years ago. Sasuke had asked if he could train with Naruto and even thanked him for helping him awaken his Sharingan, even though it was accidental. After a few times of training with Naruto and getting to know him, Naruto and Sasuke had become good friends, best friends. Sasuke improved greatly while training with Naruto. The first thing Naruto taught Sasuke was how to tree and water walk. Naruto claimed that his ninjutsu increased immediately after doing those chakra control exercises. Sasuke knew Naruto was right when he performed a Katen. Kakakyu no Jutsu, fire style. Grand fireball technique, and saw how much bigger and hotter it became. When Sasuke had reawakened his Sharingan, he still only had one Tamo in each eye, But after spars with Naruto, and since Naruto didn't pull any punches against him, it evolved into its Tutamo state. Sasuke had eventually started to hit Naruto in their spars. Though there was still a gap between their skill levels, Naruto was far stronger, and Sasuke wasn't afraid to admit it. But they were rivals, Sasuke had to catch up. So as Naruto came to sit down, the two shared a fist bump as they talked about the coming exam. "This is the day we start our journey as Konoha ninja, Sasuke?" said Naruto to his friend. "Chen." Came the perfect response to anything from the Uchiha. "You ready? You won't freeze up again from having flashbacks?" asked Naruto as Sasuke had told him about the massacre. He was the first person who Sasuke shared his view of the story with since it happened. "Yeah, I'm fine. I'll be good. Can't have you trying to outshine me here. I'm the rookie of the year, can't let that stop me from becoming a genin," said Sasuke with a confident smirk. "BSSSH, I could still kick your rookie of the year ass, you know. Titles like that mean nothing in the real world," said Naruto in a challenging tone. Sasuke turned his Sharingan on as he stared at Naruto. "You want to test that theory now?" said Sasuke. "Ooh, so you got pink eye with a pretty eye pattern. That doesn't scare me at all. Your body can't keep up with your eyes. I find that hilarious, to see a punch coming in super slow-mo and still know there's nothing you can do about stopping it. Chen," said the Uchiha as he began to get mentally prepared for the exam. Meanwhile, Naruto could hear Kurama chuckling in his mind with pink eye said repeatedly between laughs. Out of nowhere, a red and purple blur came bursting into the room at roughly the same time. "I win," came the shout of one Sakura Haruno as she stepped through the doorway with Ino by her side. "You wish the only hope you had in winning was because your forehead gave you a reach advantage," came the snappy reply from Ino. "You're just mad because Sasuke wouldn't date pigs like you," rebutted Sakura. Before Ino could reply, one of the other civilian girls shouted, "Why would we want Sasuke when Naruto-kun is way cuter? Have you seen those adorable whisker marks?" As Ino mentally agreed and was glad that she didn't say the same thing. Ino had wanted Sakura to become better and she knew the competition would help, so that's why she kept going along with this whole Sasuke feud even though Ino crushed on Naruto. Ino liked Naruto ever since she was 9. One day, Naruto handed her the brightest purple lilac she had ever seen and upon seeing it, noticed his eyes matched the lilac, which was her favorite color. She had found out that Naruto liked flowers and anything dealing with plants. She also got to spend time with him when he'd volunteer at her family's flower shop. The flowers always seemed to look better when he came by. Plus he had the prettiest eyes ever and they were her favorite color. "Did I already think that?" thought Ino as she looked at Naruto, chatting with Sasuke. Her thoughts ended the moment Iruka-sensei entered and ordered everyone to take a seat. After a long, arduous speech from him, the exam started. Iruka and his assistant, Mizuki, began handing out the written exams. Mizuki was a man of average height and build, similar to Iruka. He had white neck-length hair and wore the standard Chunin outfit of Konoha. To complete his outfit, he wore his forehead protector bandana style around his head. Naruto had always been able to sense the bad vibes coming from Mizuki. Naruto never told anyone about it due to him just believing he was prejudiced about his Jinchuriki status. So Naruto just let Mizuki hate on him. Naruto loves his haters anyway. After the simple written exam that Naruto did the bare minimum to pass, it was time for the practical exam, which consisted of a taijutsu spar with an instructor and demonstration of the 3 basic techniques. Many of the students did well in this part of the exam. Sasuke had even managed to get a few nice hits on Iruka and got a 9 out of 10 for his efforts. Kiba finished with an 8 out of 10 and so did Hinata due to her gentle fist style. Choji received a 7 with his clan's techniques. Shino got a 6. Ino, Sakura and Shikamaru all got a 4, though Shikamaru forfeited once he got his 4th point, which was just enough to pass. Then we had Naruto's turn, who somehow got the ironic luck to get paired with Mizuki. Naruto could already tell that Mizuki would try to harm him, but Naruto wasn't worried in the slightest. He welcomed the challenge. What occurred became known as the greatest ass-whooping ever given by an academy student to a Chunin instructor in history. Mizuki never got to move, Naruto was on him too quickly and the match ended as quickly as it started. After Iruka said Hajime, not a second later, and a surprise Shunshin that Mizuki could have countered had he not been overconfident, Mizuki felt pain. Left jab to the face, right cross, followed by a roundhouse kick, but before Mizuki could go to the ground, Naruto planted another kick that sent Mizuki careening past Iruka. 10. Definitely a 10. Since Mizuki was out cold, Iruka just continued to the ninjutsu portion alone. Shino Aburam. Pass. Choji Akimichi. Pass. Sakura Haruno. Pass. Hinata Hyuga. Pass. Kiba Inuyasaka. Pass. Shikamaru Nara. Pass. Naruto Senju. Pass. Sasuke Uchiha. Pass. Ino Yamanaka. Pass. There were also another 18 civilian children who passed the exams as well. After Iruka gave another speech on how proud he was of his students and what life would be like now that they were shinobis of the leaf, he let his students leave. The academy was over with and now it was time to meet their senseis, which was tomorrow. "We made it," said Naruto with a smile on his face as he tied his black forehead protector around his forehead. A smile that everyone in the group of 9 reciprocated. Well, with Shino, you couldn't see but Naruto could sense he was happy. "We should go to celebrate. Anyone want BBQ?" said a happy Choji. "Troublesome but I'm in," said Shikamaru with a smirk. After a chorus of agreements, the entire gang that would later one be dubbed the Rookie 9 headed to one of Choji's family-owned restaurants. They all shared a great time at the restaurant. They knew that this would be the last time they'd all be together for a while once they separated into teams with their senseis. Eventually, they all went their different ways. Choji and Shikamaru headed to Shikamaru's house. Kiba, Shino, and Sasuke went back to their respective houses. Ino and Sakura disappeared to Sakura's home. And Hinata had politely excused herself back to her clan compound. Several hours later, a few hours had passed and Naruto began to wander around Konoha aimlessly, determining what to do. It seemed the sun was going down soon, so he'd be able to watch the sunset from Hokage Mountain. With a shunshin, Naruto sat atop of the Yondame's head. Naruto felt at peace. He felt good and nothing would change that at all. After the sun went down, Naruto decided to head home to get some rest before tomorrow. On his way, a shinobi went flying past him and nearly crashed into him. Naruto was turning around to say sorry when he noticed the ninja had kept going. "Wait a minute, that's Mizuki-sensei. Wonder what he's in a rush for. Oh, well wait, is that a scroll on his back? It looks familiar, where have I seen that scroll before?" asked Naruto in his head. Then it hit him, that was the Hokage's scroll of seals. A scroll that contained many dangerous techniques that are mostly kenjutsu, forbidden techniques. But why did Mizuki have it? Why would Mizuki head outside of the village with that scroll? A scroll that only the Hokage could touch. "Oh, he's stealing it and you're still sitting here trying to figure out what he's doing. It's obvious," said an irritated Kurama. Naruto had the decency to look sheepish. He made sure no one was watching him as he created a Moku Bunshin, wood clone, and gave it instructions to alert the Hokage. After taking care of that, Naruto immediately pursued Mizuki to stop him. Forest nearing edge of Konoha, Mizuki had never been happier in his lifetime. The forbidden scroll, he had finally gotten a hold of it. Now all Mizuki had to do was hand it to Orochimaru and he would get the power he sought. Mizuki started to get excited at how he was so close to his dreams. However, he halted when he saw the Kyuubi brat appear in front of him. "Mizuki," said Naruto with a serious face. "This night just got better," said Mizuki with a sadistic laugh. "The gods must love me to have you, of all people, show up here right before I leave. I can finally drop the act and kill you after all these years, fox boy. Didn't I just thrash him earlier today? Is he crazy?" thought Naruto with a deadpan. "It would seem so," said Kurama with a chuckle. "Don't give me that look, demon. You know why the people of this village hate you?" said Mizuki with an evil glare. "It doesn't matter," said Naruto, whose face hadn't changed since first arriving. "It's because you're the Kyuubi. You're that piece of shit fox who assaulted Konoha years ago. And now you pathetic demon, I'm going to kill you," said Mizuki dangerously as he pulled an oversized shuriken off his back. "Naruto, I don't care how you do it, kill this guy. Who does he think he's talking about here?" said an agitated Kurama, who was aggressively trying to send chakra into Naruto to get him to tear Mizuki apart. "I can't kill him, but I'm sure Jiji will know what to do with him to appease your needs," said Naruto in his head as he denied Kurama's chakra. "Are you done?" asked Naruto in a bored tone. "What?" asked a slightly confused Mizuki as he thought that the boy would have a mental breakdown at the news. "I already know what's sealed into me, but I am Konoha Genin, Naruto Senju, and nothing will change that. Before I curb stomp you something serious, I have to know, why did you steal the scroll? For power? Or was it to give it to someone else?" said Naruto sharply. "It seems I have to give you a little credit, but even a fool is right some of the time. Since you'll be dead here shortly, why not tell you? Lord Orochimaru tasked me with the retrieval of this scroll and in return, I would become his right-hand man. He would give me great power and I would be able to show everyone that I'm strong," said Mizuki madly as he threw his shuriken at Naruto. Orochimaru, one of Konoha's biggest traitors. The same one that performed that experiment on Tenzo-sensei, thought Naruto as he sidestepped the shuriken. "That is a terrible mistake on your part, Mizuki, and I cannot forgive a traitor of my village," said Naruto as he performed the ram hand seal and slammed both of his palms on the ground. "Oten. Doryu Heki, Earth style." Mud wall, thought Naruto as a huge wall sprung up behind Mizuki. Mizuki briefly turned his head around and looked in awe at the jutsu used by the demon. He had no idea he could use ninjutsu of this caliber. In the short amount of time it took Mizuki to turn his head around, Naruto clapped his hands together and was ready to fire off another jutsu. "Suiton," Suidan no Jutsu, water style. Water bullet technique, Naruto fired off a huge bullet of water at Mizuki, who braced himself for impact as it plowed into him. Due to Naruto's mud wall behind him, Mizuki didn't travel far before impacting off the wall behind him. As Mizuki slowly overcame the effects of the jutsu, he steadied himself with a kunai in hand and charged at Naruto. Naruto pulled out his kunai and clashed with Mizuki's own. Mizuki, being physically stronger and taller than Naruto, had the advantage over Naruto and eventually managed to dig his kunai into Naruto's chest. Mizuki smirked upon seeing Naruto's shocked face, but that quickly disappeared as Naruto reverted to mud. Replacement. He barely had time to turn around to see Naruto coming right at him. Mizuki felt every bit of air leave him from the Kurama-powered elbow to his stomach. Mizuki fell on his hands and knees trying to regain his breath, but before he could recover, he met unconsciousness as his body hit the ground from Naruto's dual-handed axe punch to his back. When Naruto noticed Mizuki stopped moving, he relaxed a little and went over to retrieve the scroll. He then stomped Mizuki one time to keep with his word of curb stomping him. Naruto tied Mizuki up and carried him and the scroll back to the Hokage Tower. Hokage Tower. Hiruzen stood in his office when Naruto came in and told him about the Scroll of Seals incident and grew worried. However, he visibly relaxed when it was just a clone and the real Naruto was already in pursuit of Mizuki. He knew Naruto could easily handle Mizuki, but he did send Anbu out to make sure the scroll made it back and that Naruto was okay. Hiruzen knew that Mizuki had grown complacent and his skills had dulled, so Naruto would have no trouble in defeating him. He was proven right when Naruto came into view with a Shunshin carrying both Mizuki and the Scroll of Seals. "You know, that was a pretty fast Shunshin, Naruto-kun," said Hiruzen with a smile as he was glad Naruto had come back unharmed and with the scroll. "Thanks, Jiji." "Well, I caught Mizuki, beat him down, and brought back the scroll," said a cheery Naruto as he fist bumped his clone who then dispelled itself. Then Naruto got serious and said, "Orochimaru is involved in Mizuki's treachery." This news startled the aged Hokage, as anything Orochimaru related was of terrible news to Konoha. His favorite student had developed into a major pain in the ass, and it was his fault for not ending it all those years ago. "I'm too old for this," thought Hiruzen with an aged sigh. Nevertheless, the scroll was back and Naruto caught the traitor so he could be interrogated for more information. He might even let Ibiki pull out all of his tricks. Hiruzen shivered at the thought. He didn't know how Ibiki become as sadistic as he is, but he was glad that he was not on the other side of an Ibiki interrogation. That man was brutal. "You didn't peek in the scroll, did you?" said the Hokage with authority. "Of course not, Jiji, that scroll is for the Hokage's eyes only," said Naruto with a smile. "Good," said Hiruzen proudly as he realized how much Naruto had grown in the past years. He was well on his way to becoming a great shinobi. "Well, thank you, Naruto-kun, and I say that on behalf of all of Konoha, since what you just did was a great service to the village. Now get ready for your registration and team assignment. I'm so proud of you and good luck." "Hi Hokage Jiji-sama," said Naruto with a mock salute. After that long day, Naruto did nothing but walk in and plop down on his bed. All the while anticipating tomorrow's event. Chapter 4. Team Kakashi. Naruto awoke today feeling amazing. Today, it'd all be official. Naruto would register, then head to the academy to meet his Jonin sensei. After getting ready, Naruto trekked off to get his registration taken care of. After the short walk and getting his ninja face on for his photograph, Naruto headed in to give his papers to the Hokage. "Hey Jiji," said a happy Naruto after spotting Hiruzen decked out in his Hokage attire as usual. Hiruzen smiled upon Naruto's arrival. Naruto seemed to always brighten people's days, or at least his. "Hello Naruto-kun, I see you have your ninja registration," he said as he held out his hand to grab Naruto's papers. Well Konoha Genin, Naruto Senju, ninja registration number 012607, you are official and looking good there my boy, said Hiruzen with a warm smile. Before Naruto could reply, he sensed someone coming toward the door. After a few seconds, that person came flying through the door wielding a paper shuriken. The assailant had short, spiky brown hair. He wore a yellow shirt with Konoha's symbol on it in red, gray shorts, and a long blue scarf. He was a kid who couldn't be older than 8. "Today's the day, old man," shouted the kid as he charged at Hiruzen. However, 2 steps in, he tripped on his oversized scarf and fell flat on his face. The Sandaime sighed as he stated, "Naruto, this is Konohamaru. He wants to defeat me in a battle to earn the Hokage title." "That was the most pathetic attempt at beating someone I have ever seen," said Kurama watching the scene in amusement. Naruto mentally nodded at Kurama's claim. And eventually, after that moment of shame, Konohamaru had gotten up and pointed an accusing finger at Naruto. "You tripped me. I was this close to beating the old man, but you had to ruin it," said Konohamaru in a murderous tone. "Eh? You tripped on your scarf. I had nothing to do with your failure just now," said Naruto confused about how he got into this predicament. Another person entered the room, cutting Naruto from his musings. "Honorable grandson. came the voice from a man named Ibisu. Ibisu is a Takebetsu Jonin, special Jonin of the Leaf, who wears the standard outfit of Konoha shinobi without the flak jacket. He also dons a pair of black sunglasses and wears his forehead protector bandana style. He is also known throughout the Konoha shinobi populace as a suck-up and as such brown noses those above him or those with enough significance. Since he only heard Konohamaru yelling and didn't realize he was talking to the Senju boy, he said, "You scoundrel, what did you do to the Sandame's grandson?" Upon hearing that declaration, Naruto's eyebrows raised slightly as he looked back at Konohamaru. Konohamaru smirked when he saw Naruto's face and expected he'd kiss his feet like everybody else upon realizing who he was and how the Sandame was his grandfather. "I did nothing to Konohamaru here. He tripped on his scarf. And I could care less if he's the Sandame's grandson. That means nothing to me whatsoever. Titles like that are pointless and, even if we were going by that, he'd lose as I outrank him being related to 2 Hokages," said Naruto, who waved goodbye to the Hokage and disappeared via Shunshin. This got varied reactions around the room. Hiruzen watched the scene pleased as he knew Konohamaru liked being called Konohamaru and not honorable grandson. He had a name. Konohamaru was staring in awe, not because of who Naruto's ancestry was, but because he called him Konohamaru and not to mention how cool he looked vanishing like that. Ibisu became shocked. If he had known it was Senju-sama he was speaking to, he would have changed what he said to him. Naruto appeared at the academy, where he trotted into his class and took his usual seat next to Sasuke. After an exchange of greeting and since he was so early, Naruto decided to take a nap. After about 20 minutes, Iruka walked in to give out the team assignments as Sasuke woke up Naruto. "Beginning today, all of you are real shinobi. But you're still merely rookie genin, the hard part hasn't begun yet. Now you will soon be assigned duties by the village. Today, we will put you in your 3-man teams and assign each team a Jonin-sensei. You will follow their instructions from this point on," said Iruka with a proud smile as he gave out the team assignments. Naruto could care less about any team that wasn't his or one of his friends. So he didn't care until he heard his name called and was happy with the team. Team 7 is Naruto Senju, Sasuke Uchiha. Mentioning those 2 names, it seemed every girl in the room who hadn't been picked yet sat hoping for placement with the 2 hottest guys in their class. Sakura Haruno. "Your sensei is Kakashi Haddock." "Yes. Love prevails overall," said Sakura as she fist-pumped the air for being with Sasuke. There were also some incoherent mumbles of "bullshit, not fair," and "foreheads with my man." Iruka continued after quieting down the class. "Team 8 is Shino Abiram, Kiba Inuyasaka, and Hinata Hyuga. Your sensei is Kurama Yuhi. Team 9 is still in circulation, so Team 10 is Choji Akimichi, Shikamaru Nara, and Ino Yamanaka. Your sensei is Asuma Sarutobi." And with that said, Iruka bid them all good luck and farewell, as their senseis would arrive shortly. 2 hours later, one at a time, each Jonin came to pick up their team right after Iruka finished speaking. However, it had been 2 hours, and Team 7 sensei hadn't arrived yet. Sakura was fuming at this point, wondering why he hadn't shown up. Naruto remained calm and even shut his eyes to sleep some more. Sasuke was in between each of them. He was calm like Naruto, but his eyebrow twitched every few seconds to show his irritation. "I don't care if this guy's a Jonin. Who the hell is 2 hours late?" shrieked a practically seething Sakura as she ground her teeth together. Naruto opened his eyes as he said, "Sakura-chan. You're loud again." Sakura blushed with embarrassment. Naruto had told her she shrieked at times, and after everyone's agreement, she had begun to try to tone it down, though she still had outbursts occasionally. Shortly afterward, Naruto perked up slightly and stared at the door. A few seconds later, a man with gravity-defying silver hair came through the door. He had on the standard outfit of Konoha shinobi, along with a face mask that covered his nose down. He also wore his headband around his forehead, though it slanted down to cover his left eye. "Team 7. After a nod, he said, "My first impression of you guys, you seem like a nice bunch. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes." As he disappeared in a puff of smoke, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura made their way to the roof to meet up with Kakashi. Once they arrived, they noticed their sensei was reading an orange book. He looked as if he was oblivious to his surroundings, but Naruto could see the critical eye he had on them. After Kakashi noticed everyone was ready, he began. "Glad you all made it. Now, how about we start by having you all introduce yourselves," said Kakashi as he put his book away. "What should we say?" asked Sakura. How about your likes, dislikes, dream for the future, and your hobbies," answered Kakashi with a bored tone. "Could you go first?" "As an example," said Sakura with a smile. Kakashi let out a sigh. "Fine. My name is Kakashi Haddock. I do not want to tell you my likes or dislikes. Dreams for the future. I have many hobbies," said Kakashi as he pointed at Naruto to go. Naruto grew disheartened as he only learned his sensei's name, but smiled at it being his turn to introduce himself. "My name is Naruto Senju. I like ramen, forests, and gardens. I dislike the 3 minutes it takes to make ramen and traders. My dream for the future is to surpass all the Hokages and protect this village, that way everyone has to acknowledge me hobbies. I have a bonsai tree in training," said Naruto still smiling. He's grown up interesting. Though Kakashi. "Next," said Kakashi looking at Sasuke. "My name is Sasuke Uchiha. There are tons of things I dislike and only a few things I do like. And I don't use the word dream, for I have an ambition. To revive my clan and kill a certain man," said Sasuke. Figured as much," thought Kakashi. "And lastly, the girl," said Kakashi to Sakura. "My name is Sakura Haruno." "I like," said Sakura as she peeked at Sasuke. "I mean the person I like is my dream for the future." "Oh my. The thing I dislike is Ino Pig," finished Sakura. "Typical girl her age, love over jutsu," thought Kakashi before saying, "Well, tomorrow marks the start of Team 7. I'll see you all tomorrow for survival training," said Kakashi. "Survival training? But didn't we do enough training in the academy, Kakashi-sensei?" asked a confused Sakura, who also had looks of confusion from Naruto and Sasuke. "This training is different. I will be your opponent, but that is not all. This is an exam in which only 9 out of the 27 graduates will pass, it has a 66% failure rate," said Kakashi with a chuckle at his Genin's faces of shock. "You will meet me at 8 tomorrow morning. Bring your shinobi gear, and I suggest not eating breakfast," said Kakashi, and before anyone could ask him any more questions, he vanished in a poof. Naruto pondered those words before he too told his teammates goodbye and left via Shunshin. Sasuke decided to do some more training for tomorrow, and Sakura just headed home to also prepare for tomorrow as well. It would be a big day. The next day, 11 AM. The next morning, it had been a long 3-hour wait as Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura arrived at 8 awaiting their sensei's arrival. Sasuke stood leaning on a tree scowling slightly as he waited. Sakura was inwardly fuming again. Naruto mediated as he waited, still racking his brain over what Kakashi said yesterday. Naruto then opened his eyes as his sensei appeared several seconds later. "You're late," came the yell from Sakura as Sasuke and Naruto agreed, although less vocal than their pink-haired teammate. Upon noticing the questioning looks from his genin, Kakashi explained his tardiness. "I was on my way here when I saw a black cat cross my path. I didn't want bad luck, so I took a long way around," said Kakashi in a tone that seemed that he was completely honest. Sasuke and Sakura immediately recognized the horrible lie. However, Naruto immediately understood he wouldn't want bad luck either and probably would have walked around as well. "Okay, it's set to noon," said Kakashi as he pulled a clock out and sat it on one of the training posts. He then took out 2 bells and said, "Here are 2 bells. Your task is to take one of these bells before noon. Those who cannot get a bell get no lunch. Not only will I tie you to a stump, I'll eat your lunch in front of you," continued Kakashi as his 3 student stomachs rumbled. "That's why he said not to eat," thought Naruto as he was slowly concluding today's training. "You only need 1 bell. And since there are only 2, I will tie whoever does not get a bell to this stump here. Also, that person fails and will go back to the academy. Meaning at least one of you will be going back no matter what. You may use any ninja tools you have. I recommend coming at me with the intent to kill, otherwise, you won't get a bell," said Kakashi as all of his genin got ready. After Kakashi said to start, all 3 of them immediately scattered. After a few moments of nothing, he pulled out his book and proceeded to read. Several minutes passed by and Kakashi just shrugged as he continued to read his book, they'd have to come for him anyway. Sasuke was hiding in some trees watching Kakashi with a scrutinizing eye, trying to find the best time to strike Kakashi. He then felt a presence behind him. "Naruto, what are you doing here?" whispered Sasuke. "We need to find Sakura, I have something I need to tell you both," said a completely serious Naruto as he took off to find Sakura. Sasuke would have argued had he not seen the seriousness from Naruto and promptly followed him. After a few minutes, Naruto and Sasuke landed near the underbrush where Sakura was hiding. After making her come over to them, Naruto started. "This test is bullshit," said Naruto completely confusing Sakura and Sasuke. "What do you mean, Naruto? And hurry up. You're wasting my time. I need to get one of those bells," said Sasuke irritated that Naruto still hadn't got to the point yet. "Sakura-chan, what is the standard genin team in Konoha?" asked Naruto. After a prompt 3 genin, 1 jonin answer from Sakura, Naruto continued, "Thank you, with that in mind. That makes this test even more bull. We are never going to take on a jonin in a battle coming freshly out of the academy, Jiji wouldn't allow it in the real world. It just doesn't happen, so why now? The only way our chances would rise is if we work together, and even then the chances are still near 0. Said Naruto as Sasuke and Sakura listened intently to their friend speak. As it was rare when he did speak like this, but usually his analyses were pinpoint. Kakashi said this test had a 66% failure rate. Meaning only 9 of us will pass. From what Sakura says, you can only have 3 genin teams, full genin teams. That means this test is about teamwork, not getting the bells," said Naruto, completely confident in his deduction of this test. "So we need to work together. And in the case that I am wrong, you can both have the bells. I don't mind doing another year." Sasuke and Sakura merely nodded their heads. They weren't completely convinced but figured, working together with Naruto, they had a better chance of getting the bells than working alone, especially since Naruto would willingly fail for them. So after a quick plan from Naruto, they set off to face Kakashi. Several minutes later, Kakashi still stood in the same spot since the beginning of the test. He lowered his book slightly to see Naruto standing in front of him. "You know it's basic shinobi knowledge to hide one's presence and strike from blind spots, right?" said Kakashi as he put his book away. He knew how good Naruto was. Naruto replied with, "It wouldn't have made any difference. 1. You already knew where I was. 2. You have one of your eyes covered, so you likely have found a way to cover your blind spots as you create a huge one with only one eye. And 3. I figured out your test, it's teamwork, but there is a major flaw in it," said Naruto. Kakashi grew impressed with Naruto's analysis. He was right on each point though he did wonder what the flaw in the test was and what would the flaw be. Asked Kakashi as he readied for Naruto's assault. "You can't expect 3 fresh genin to come in and show teamwork to that level. Teamwork happens over bonding with each other through missions, team meetings, and being with one another. Though it is a great test to find out if a team holds the will of fire, it's still difficult to do all of that in just 1 hour," said Naruto as he placed a hand in the half-ram seal. Naruto performed a shunshin to begin his assault on Kakashi. Kakashi nodded at Naruto's explanation. He then turned around and blocked the kick to his head from Naruto. The speed behind his kick is immense, that's why it hit so hard due to the momentum built up, thought Kakashi as he continued to block each of Naruto's strikes. He then saw Naruto do a low sweep kick and jumped over it. He grew surprised when Naruto immediately stood up faster than before with a kunai in hand and went to cut the strings holding the bells to his waist. He cut the string slightly before Kakashi batted the kunai out of his hands and they jumped back from one another. To think he'd be able to get that close to the bells. Impressive. Thought Kakashi before he saw Naruto hold the tiger hand seal. Nihin Shohin no Jutsu, Temple of Nirvana technique, thought Naruto as white feathers appeared around Kakashi. Kakashi immediately recognized the Jinjutsu and dispelled it with ease. However, as soon as he dispelled it, several kunai struck him squarely in the back. Sasuke had been mildly surprised when his kunai hit Kakashi. He did according to the plan, once Naruto activated his Jinjutsu, launched the kunai at Kakashi to catch him off guard. Though he wasn't disappointed as he saw the customary log take Kakashi's place signaling a replacement. Shortly after that, Sasuke heard a scream. It seemed Kakashi had taken out Sakura. "Damn, guess we go to plan B," thought Sasuke as he activated his Sharingan when he noticed Kakashi behind him and engaged the Jonin into Jutsu. Kakashi wasn't surprised to see Sasuke's Sharingan, he had read about it in Sasuke's file. However, he was in for another shock as after a few blocked hits and Sasuke's impressive agility, Sasuke managed to touch one of the bells. Upon noticing it, Kakashi immediately disengaged and slid a few feet away from Sasuke. However, he didn't notice the 3 lines of mud on the ground around him. The lines were in a perfect square surrounding Kakashi, with the only uncovered side being the one facing Sasuke, who was going through several hand seals as Naruto landed beside him with his palms placed on the ground. Oten. Doryuheki, Earth style. Mud wall, thought Naruto as the mud around Kakashi rose on all 3 sides, creating a sort of tunnel facing his 2 students. At roughly the same time, Sasuke finished his hand seals and placed a hand near his mouth. Pain. Kakakyu no Jutsu, fire style. Grand fireball technique, said Sasuke as he unleashed a huge fireball from his mouth that flew toward Kakashi. Kakashi was about to jump up to avoid the jutsu when he noticed an equally big water ball flying down towards him. Naruto must have created that before landing next to Sasuke to activate his mud wall. Damn, that's a good combo. Thought Kakashi as the area inside the mud walls exploded with steam from the fireball and water ball combination. Steam continued to rise from the impact area, obstructing the 2 genins' view. Once it cleared, they noticed there was no trace of Kakashi anywhere. Underground. Thought Naruto, but it was too late as a hand grabbed him and Sasuke and proceeded to drag them both underground. Kakashi soon popped up a few feet away and smiled at the 2 heads with his lone visible eye. Doten. Shinju Uzanshu no Jutsu, Earth style. Double suicide decapitation technique. That was nice teamwork from you 2, a great combination. You almost had me there, but you didn't. Too bad you didn't get a bell. As I'm sure you would have been great to have on my team, said Kakashi as he then noticed Sakura charging at him. Seems Naruto must have woken her up while I was in that Taijutsu battle with Sasuke, thought Kakashi. Sadly, Sakura was way too weak to face Kakashi. However, before she got to him, Kakashi found himself in a full Nelson from Naruto. Due to the shock of Naruto's unexpected arrival, he didn't notice the kunai from Sasuke cut off the bells. Sakura made a dive for the bells since Kakashi was still stuck in Naruto's grip. It was all for naught as the timer went off right as Sakura made it to the bells. So close, thought Naruto as he let go of Kakashi, and they all made their way to the stumps. They passed with flying colors, but why not find out to what extent, thought Kakashi as he tied Naruto to one of the stumps. Kakashi asked how Naruto got out of the ground so fast and with the answer of Doton. More Ragaker no Jutsu, Earth style. Hiding like a mole technique, he nodded at the statement. At which point, Kakashi told them that they failed the test since none of them could get a bell, but since they used teamwork, he'd give them another chance. Since Naruto attacked him first, then he wouldn't be allowed lunch. So after handing Sasuke and Sakura a bento and leaving instructions to not feed Naruto, he vanished in a poof of smoke. "We were so close," said Sakura as she opened her bento and began eating. "HN," said Sasuke as he agreed and couldn't wait for another shot at the Jonin. "We'll get him next time," said Naruto as he was wondering if he was wrong in his judgment of the true meaning of the test. They should have passed right. Yet they didn't, was he wrong? Eventually, his thoughts were cut short as his stomach quaked upon seeing Sasuke and Sakura eating their food. When that happened, he was in for a shock as Sasuke offered him his bento. "We need you," said Sasuke begrudgingly. "Had it not been for you, we would have not been so close in the first place. So here, eat up. You will not be at full strength if you are handicapped by hunger." Naruto was even more surprised when Sakura also offered her bento. "Sasuke-kun is right. You need to eat something and you can eat from mine since I don't eat as much as Sasuke-kun," said Sakura as she placed a bit of food on her chopsticks and was inches away from feeding Naruto when, boom, a huge plume of smoke appeared and out stepped an irate-looking Kakashi. "You dare defy my rules. I told you not to feed Naruto, yet you disobey my orders and do it anyway. What do you have to say for yourselves before I give out divine punishment?" said Kakashi as he held the ram seal and the sky darkened considerably and lightning danced around it. Freaked out by the sudden appearance of Kakashi, Naruto shouted, "Because we're a team. And teammates look out for one another. That's what Kano has built upon, teamwork." "Well, if that's all you have to say, then you," said Kakashi as all the genin closed their eyes awaiting their punishment. "Pass," said Kakashi with an eye smile as the sky cleared back up. "What?" came the intelligent response from Sakura. Kakashi merely pointed to the memorial stone and stated, "Naruto was correct. This test was to find out your teamwork and willingness to work together. I gave you all a near impossible task with rules created to make you split up and work for yourselves. Had you forsaken your teammates and worked alone, you would have failed, even if you did get a bell. You all did the opposite, and that is why we are now officially Team 7. Remember these words, those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are even worse than scum," finished Kakashi. The three genins looked on with various expressions. Sakura fist pumped at officially being a team. Sasuke merely smirked in his cool way though you could see his excitement. Naruto, however, was crying tears of passion at the line that would forever be engraved in his heart. They were Team 7 and nothing would change that. "Now tomorrow, we will begin missions and training to work more efficiently as a team. I expect to see you guys back here tomorrow at 9 AM, until then," said Kakashi as he disappeared again in a puff of smoke. When Kakashi left, Naruto escaped the ropes that bound him to the stump as he asked, "So you guys want to train, since we still have a whole day left? We all need more work, especially you Sakura. Sasuke and I are more advanced than you, and we need all the links of our team to be better if we want to be the best team possible." Finished Naruto as Sasuke nodded and looked at Sakura expectantly. After a moment, Sakura agreed. She would get to spend more time with her Sasuke-kun and become a better ninja in the process, since her lack of help against Kakashi-sensei was eye-opening. Time skip 6 weeks later. D-rank missions, chores if you ask Naruto, were horrible. Team 7 had done 48 D-rank missions in the past 6 weeks, from walking dogs and painting fences to catching the elusive Tora, pet cat of the Fire Daimyo's wife. In those 6 weeks though, Team 7 held many training sessions together. Usually, 3, sometimes 4 times a week outside of missions and teamwork training with Kakashi. Naruto stayed relatively the same, steadily trying to increase the speed of his shunshin and master his ninjutsu arsenal. Kakashi even showed Naruto another clone technique as he knew about Naruto's Mokuton and Moku Bunshin's wood clones and that he still didn't want to show it. It was the simple Iwa Bunshin no Jutsu, rock clone technique. Naruto also moved to level 3 of Fuinjutsu, sealing techniques, involving exploding seals. He began to attach them to his earth clones to add a deadly surprise to the simple clone technique. Sasuke added a few more fire jutsus. One of them being Kaiten. Hasenka no Jutsu, fire style. Phoenix Age flower technique, which emitted a volley of fist-sized fireballs from the user's mouth in an unpredictable way. He also added the powerful Kaiten. Ryuken no Jutsu, fire style. Fire Dragon technique, which creates a powerful stream of fire from the user's mouth that takes on a dragon's appearance. Also during that time, he managed to learn several Sharingan Genjutsu from his clan's library. For some reason, Kakashi even gave him tips. How Kakashi knew so much about the Sharingan was above him, but he accepted it with no questions asked. The person who progressed the most was Sakura. She began with physical exercises that at first were brutal on her due to her not getting the correct nutrition into her body. However, after hearing Naruto and Sasuke tell her to quit her diet since it'd make her body more capable of handling this type of training, it began to bear results. Her stamina, speed, and strength had improved greatly over the past 6 weeks. Naruto and Sasuke had also found out that Sakura had amazing chakra control since she was able to get tree walking and water walking relatively quickly. Since her chakra control was so good, Naruto suggested she become a medic nin. Sakura was happy with the suggestion since she knew she wouldn't be able to catch Sasuke and Naruto in the other shinobi arts, but being a medic nin added value to her place on the team. Sakura had learned the beginning medical ninjutsu, the Shosen no Jutsu, mystical palm technique. Though she could only heal small bruises and cuts, it was still better than nothing, and she was proud of herself. She felt more important on the team nowadays, and her confidence skyrocketed as a result. Kakashi, noticing the progress his team had made individually, smiled because they took it upon themselves to get better. As such, he was more than happy to give out tips to help them. Due to them blossoming so well, he decided they had enough of D ranks and it was now time for their first C rank. It was a simple bodyguard duty to escort Tazuna, a bridge builder who lived in Wave Country, back to Wave Country and guard him while he finished a bridge. It was more than easy enough for his team to handle, and tomorrow they would set out on their first C rank. Chapter 5. First C rank. It was a bright and sunny day as 5 people were walking down a road. Those 5 people were the 4 members of Team 7 and their client. They were walking in a diamond formation with Naruto in front, Sasuke on the left, Sakura on the right, Kakashi trailing behind, and Tazuna, the client, in the middle of the formation. It had been a day since leaving the village to begin their first C rank. Normally the trip to Wave would be less than a day, but with Tazuna being a civilian, they had to travel at his pace. The group walked in relative peace and silence until Naruto tripped a bit. After a light chuckle at Naruto's misfortune, Sakura posed a question. Tazuna-san, you're from Wave Country, right? After a grumble of what about it? From him, Sakura turned to Kakashi and asked, Kakashi-sensei, do they have ninjas in Wave Country? No, not in Wave Country. Though their culture and customs differ, hidden villages do exist and as such, other ninjas as well. Said Kakashi as he patted Sakura's head, messing up her perfectly groomed hair, don't worry, there isn't any ninja combat on a C-rank mission. As the group walked past a puddle in the road, Sakura visibly relaxed upon hearing that. She may have gotten stronger and better as a ninja, but she was still a little scared to face an enemy ninja. Her relaxed state changed immediately when she heard one down. Upon hearing those words, everyone, except a captured Kakashi, turned around to watch Kakashi be torn to shreds by 2 other ninjas. Those 2 being the demon brothers, Gozu and Mizu. Both of them had shoulder-length brown hair and dark eyes. They both wore a rebreather and poisonous gauntlet on one arm. They looked the same except Gozu had a single horn on his forehead protector and a cape, while Mizu had 2 horns and shaggy hair. The demon brothers, upon seeing the shocked states of the genin, took that moment to charge for the closet one, who was the blonde kid. However, when tying him up like the first ninja, they didn't notice the smirk on his face. "Do down," said the brothers, who became shocked when the kid shifted into mud as they tore him apart. "Hawarimi, replacement," thought Gozu and Mizu as they suddenly started feeling hotter. They looked up to see the biggest fireball either brother had ever seen come falling from the sky. The heat from it was intense, and it almost seemed unreal. "Ninjutsu," thought Mizu as he dispelled the illusion. Upon cancelling the illusion, they failed to notice that a kunai pinned their chain to a tree. Shortly after dispelling the Genjutsu, Gozu received a harsh kick from the blonde, while Mizu received one from the dark-haired kid, sending them in opposite directions, snapping their chain. Despite the kicks, the brothers recovered fast enough and decided to take out their target as fast as possible and set off to deal with him. They met with the pink-haired girl and their target of Tazuna. However, when striking the 2, they were just clones. Duped by some brat. Before anyone could move, Kakashi appeared and had gotten both Gozu and Mizu trapped under each arm. "Great job team, you all handled that perfectly. Nice Majin. Jigoku no Jutsu, demonic illusion. Descending hell technique, Naruto. Sasuke, excellent work on breaking their chains with that kunai. And Sakura, way to get the VIP out of harm's way and even trick the enemy. Great work my cute little genin. Tazuna, we need to talk," said Kakashi as he tied Gozu and Mizu to a tree that Sakura and Tazuna had come out from behind. "These are Chunin level Miss Ninjas," said Kakashi before Gozu interrupted him. "How did you react so well to us?" asked Gozu. My team and I could have killed you immediately as we knew you were there for a while. First of all, Naruto, the blonde, is a censor. When he tripped, he secretly signaled to us where you were. And even if Naruto wasn't, it hadn't rained in days. So on a nice day like this, there wouldn't be a puddle on the ground," said Kakashi as he leveled a one-eyed glare at Tazuna. "We didn't kill them because I wanted to find out their target. Care to explain why two Chunin are trying to kill you? Our mission dictates protecting you from thugs and thieves. Ninjas are a B rank mission at least. Looks like we'll have to return home, this mission is out of our scope," finished Kakashi as he walked over to his team. "Wait," said Tazuna in a pleading voice. "I'm sorry I deceived you all, but I had no other way to get protection. Our country is very poor and as a result, I can't pay for anything over a C rank. As I said before, I'm a bridge builder who's now building a bridge that'll connect Wave to the mainland. Because that'll keep us away from the shipping industry's monopoly and Gato. Gato is an evil man who has a stranglehold on the economy of Wave by controlling the shipping industry and raising costs for those trying to move products. He makes life hell for anyone in Wave because of it. Please, I beg of you, please help me, because, without that bridge, things will only get worse." Kakashi looked indifferent at Tazuna's plea. Sasuke and Sakura felt bad for him, but Kakashi-sensei did say it was too difficult for them. Naruto was sobbing in tears after Tazuna's plea. Naruto couldn't help it. The other three members of Team 7 had gotten used to Naruto's affliction. He was a sucker for sob stories and even Kakashi's excuses for being late. "How's Naruto so strong?" thought Sasuke as he looked at Naruto crying his eyes out. Before Kakashi could stop him, Naruto spoke with conviction when he said, "Don't worry old man, we'll continue the mission. We'll kick Gato's ass, save your country, and look awesome while doing it or my name's not Naruto." Tazuna looked hopeful after hearing Naruto speak. Kakashi just let out a sigh, they could have gone home and done something else. But since Sasuke and Sakura looked more into continuing, he kinda had to go now. "Well it seems we are going, but I expect full payment when you get the necessary funds for whatever the mission ends up being, understood?" said Kakashi to Tazuna. After a thank you and a yes from Tazuna, Team 7 continued their now B-rank mission. Several hours later, Team 7 and Tazuna had finally hit the home stretch of their journey. After crossing a huge body of water and Tazuna's slightly built bridge, they were nearing Tazuna's house. However, Naruto sensed a presence to the left and immediately flung a kunai directed toward it. Kakashi, who had felt the same thing, went to investigate. Upon noticing a snow rabbit, Sakura hounded Naruto for almost killing the cutest rabbit ever. Naruto immediately fell into a depression from Sakura's scolding. While that was going on, Kakashi realized that the bunny was a replacement and was on high alert. "Get down," said Kakashi as Naruto grabbed Sakura before ducking. Sasuke grabbed Tazuna and brought him to the ground as Kakashi ducked his head. Had they have been a second late, a large spinning sword would have cut them in half. The sword continued over their heads as it smashed into a tree. Suddenly, a man appeared standing on the handle of the sword, looking down on the group. This man was tall and had a muscular frame with pale skin. He had short spiky black hair, brown eyes, and small eyebrows. Bandages covered the lower half of his face like a mask. He wore his forehead protector sideways around his head and was shirtless with only a belt around his chest that held his sword on his back. He also was wearing baggy pants with a striped pattern typical of Kurigakure and mimetic wrist warmers extending up to his elbows, with matching leg warmers. The man then spoke. No wonder the demon brothers failed, they were facing the copy ninja, Kakashi Haddock, also known as Sharingan no Kakashi. Sharingan no Kakashi? Does that mean, thought Sasuke as he saw Kakashi stand up. Zabuza Mamachi, also known as the Kurigakure no Kijin, demon of the hidden mist, said Kakashi as if he was uninterested in him. "Well I have to ask, what do you want?" "Nothing too big, just the old man's head. If you give him up, I won't kill you all," said Zabuza with an equally as carefree tone. Kakashi rose a hand to his forehead protector as he said, "Protect the bridge builder with your lives. Form a manji formation around him and don't join this fight as it's out of your league, he's a jonin just like me." Finished Kakashi as he did as instructed with Naruto in front, Sasuke on his left, and Sakura on the right. "I believe I'll need to use this against you," said Kakashi as he lifted his forehead protector to show a 3-tomo Sharingan in his left eye. This got varied reactions. Sakura was wondering if Kakashi was in a Uchiha. Naruto's deduced that Kakashi had it all along, since he could give tips to Sasuke about it and wasn't shocked at the revelation. Sasuke was an internal wreck. How did Kakashi acquire a Sharingan? He was no Uchiha. He shouldn't have that eye, it's a birthright. Sasuke had some questions for Kakashi. "Oh, the Sharingan so soon, I'm honored." "Well, let's get to this," said Zabuza as he vanished to appear on top of the lake with his huge sword in tow. He landed with his left hand extended upwards while holding a half-ram seal with his right hand. "Kurigakure no Jutsu, hidden in the mist technique," said Zabuza as a heavy mist blanketed the area. The mist was so thick that it hid Kakashi from his genin. 8 choices: liver, lungs, spine, jugular vein, carotid artery, brain, kidneys, or heart. Which do you want to die by? Said Zabuza with a disembodied voice that seemed to come from every direction. Everyone in the area immediately reacted to Zabuza's killing intent as it placated the area. Tazuna nearly crapped himself, he was Zabuza's direct target and only a civilian, not trained to handle fear like a ninja would be able to. Sakura grew scared out of her mind but believed that Kakashi-sensei would save them. Naruto seemed calm on the outside, but inwardly he was sweating slightly. Sasuke seemed the most panicked. Zabuza's killing intent brought back memories of Itachi and that night. He even pulled out a kunai to end it before Zabuza got the chance. "Don't worry Sasuke," said Kakashi with an eye smile as he put his hands in the ram seal and a shroud of blue chakra surrounded him. That maneuver cleared the area around him in a 15-foot diameter, clearing the mist from his team so they could see him. "I promise to protect you guys with my life. Nothing bad will happen." "Sure about that?" questioned Zabuza in the middle of the Manji formation. He was ready to sever all the heads of everyone in the formation until Kakashi immediately stopped him with a kunai to the stomach. Zabuza became shocked for a second until he turned into water. "Izubunshin, water clone," thought Kakashi in a panic as Zabuza appeared behind him and promptly sliced him half. Zabuza's grinning face didn't last long as he realized he sliced a Mizubunshin. "It's over," said Kakashi as he readied to slit Zabuza's throat with a kunai if he moved. Kakashi wasn't ready for another Zabuza to appear behind him and the one in front of him to dissolve into water. "I'm not that easy to take down," said Zabuza as he swung to cleave Kakashi in half. Kakashi ducked the swing and put his hands up to block the follow-up kick from Zabuza that sent him sailing into the water. Zabuza smirked when he realized Kakashi was staying in the water and performed a shunshin to appear above him. "This water is so heavy." "Oh no," thought Kakashi urgently, but it was too late. Zabuza had already completed the hand seals for his jutsu and Kakashi found himself trapped in a sphere of water. "Suiten. Suro no Jutsu, water style. Water prison technique," said Zabuza, creating a dome of water that immobilized Kakashi completely. Zabuza then created another water clone as he looked at the remaining people. "Kakashi, I'm going to allow you to watch me kill your students and client before I kill you," stated Zabuza as his clone stalked toward the Genin slowly. "Run. Get out of here." "Leave me, protect the client," said Kakashi before Naruto interrupted him. "Why should we run?" said Naruto as he ready to fight. "First of all, the first thing you taught was to never abandon your comrades. I am not worse than scum. And secondly, if we ran, what's to say a Jonin wouldn't find us, so we'd have to deal with him anyway. So, why not fight him now? Sakura, stay with Tazuna. Sasuke, you ready to do this?" said Naruto as Sasuke activated his Sharingan, signaling he was ready. Naruto started by flinging several shurikens at the real Zabuza that his clone in front blocked. Any shuriken that passed the clone Zabuza blocked himself with his free hand. It seems that he can't remove his hand from his jutsu or move for that matter as it would probably disrupt it and cause it to disperse. "We'll aim for that, we need Kakashi," thought Naruto quickly as he and Sasuke charged in to engage Zabuza into jutsu. Zabuza's clone began to chuckle as he was easily defending against the two brats. After a minute, he got bored with defending and violently kicked Sasuke away and ready to slice the other one, but saw him backpedaling rapidly. He noticed that he was going through a few hand seals. Oten. Doryoden, Earth style. Earth Dragon Bullet, thought Naruto as he spat out some mud that quickly rose to form a huge dragon's head. The dragon proceeded to fire off several bullets of mud at the Zabuza clone, which he blocked with his huge sword. However, upon blocking the last bullet, he noticed that the blonde had disappeared and the Uchiha brat was standing in front of him wielding a Fuma shuriken. Sasuke held the shuriken in his hand and opened it up fully and ready to fling it. As Sasuke let it go, Zabuza's clone noticed that it wasn't headed for him, but rather Zabuza in the back. Zabuza chuckled as he easily caught the shuriken. His chuckle disappeared as he noticed another shuriken headed toward him that had been hidden in the shadow of the first. Zabuza jumped over the shuriken in an impressive display of agility. "Too easy," said Zabuza in a snobbish tone. He wasn't ready for the shuriken to poof and turn into the blonde-haired kid who flung a kunai at him. The kunai was perfectly aimed as it required him to move his arm out of the way lest he take a high-speed kunai to the arm. Despite moving, the kunai still nicked his cheek. Naruto got behind Zabuza as he had used a henge transformation to change into that second shuriken that Sasuke tossed out with Zabuza. Naruto was standing on the water when he noticed Zabuza become enraged and look at him with a murderous glare. As he was ready to fire the still-held Fuma shuriken back at Naruto, an incredibly serious Kakashi blocked that attempt. "Great job Naruto and Sasuke. That was an ingenious plan and I couldn't be prouder," said Kakashi as he still held his glare towards Zabuza. "Heh, I got distracted and let go of my jutsu, big deal," said Zabuza, trying to downplay that two Genin outwitted him. Don't flatter yourself, you were forced to drop it, said Kakashi as he batted away the shuriken in Zabuza's hand. Zabuza jumped away from Kakashi, who mirrored him, and went through a plethora of hand seals that Kakashi was executing at the same time and speed of him. They even shouted Suiton. Suryuiden no Jutsu, water style. Water dragon bullet technique at the same time as two huge water dragons appeared and cancelled each other out when they clashed. How did that happen? The Sharingan allows the user to copy and recreate what the other is doing, but we finished at the same time. What's going on? Thought Zabuza as he went through a few hand seals for another jutsu but stopped when he noticed himself standing behind Kakashi. What? Thought Zabuza when he saw Kakashi go through hand seals for the jutsu he was about to use. Suiton. Daibakufu no Jutsu, water style. Great waterfall technique, said Kakashi as a huge torrent of water crashed into Zabuza and sent him careening into a tree. As soon as he hit the tree, 4 kunai from Kakashi pinned Zabuza's arms and legs to the tree. How are you doing that, can you, said Zabuza before Kakashi interrupted him. See the future. Yes, and your future is death, said Kakashi as he walked over to Zabuza to finish the job, but 2 senbon needles struck Zabuza before Kakashi could get to him. You were right. Came the voice of a hunter nin that suddenly appeared. He is dead and I thank you for weakening my target as I've chased him for a long time. The hunter nin grabbed Zabuza's arm and placed it over his head. Allow me to dispose of this body elsewhere so your genins don't have to watch. Finished the hunter nin as he disappeared in a swirl of mist. Well anyway, said Kakashi back to his bored, uninterested tone as if he just didn't fight to the death just now. He covered his left eye back up and said, Tazuna, we're almost to your house right? After a nod from Tazuna, Kakashi gave an eye smile and finished with, great. Naruto, you're on carrying duty. Naruto looked confused at first until he saw his sensei collapse. Sakura ran over and performed a diagnostic jutsu. She determined that he was only experiencing chakra exhaustion and that he'd be fine in a couple of days. With that, Naruto picked up Kakashi piggyback style and they continued on their way to Tazuna's house. Eventually, right before they made it, Naruto voiced his concerns. Zabuza's still alive. Chapter 6. Wave. Arriving at Tazuna's house that night, Team 7's exhaustion was clear from today's events. Tazuna's house had him, his beautiful daughter, Tsunami, and his young grandson, Inari, all in the same tiny home. His home was very warm and inviting as they all rested for the night after their long day of traveling and fighting. The following morning, Kakashi was left at home to recover from his chakra exhaustion. Upon awaking, Kakashi confirmed Naruto's concerns about Zabuza being alive. Though Kakashi assured Naruto it would take Zabuza at least a week to recover from his injuries given during their fight. So for the day, the rest of Team 7 followed Tazuna to the bridge to protect him. It was an uneventful day until that night back at Tazuna's house during dinner. You're all going to die you know, said Tazuna's grandson in a matter-of-fact tone. The comment came out of nowhere and everyone in the room became surprised by his sudden announcement. Naruto was the first to respond. No, we're not. I'm too awesome to die before becoming Hokage, and so is my team. Beidou's going to murder you all for trying to stop him. Just like Kaiza. Shouted Inari as he teared up remembering Kaiza, the first to stand up to Gedo and was killed for it. No, I doubt it very seriously. We'll protect your grandfather with our lives. Just you watch kid. Said Naruto with a smile, which also got a smile from Tazuna. Stop smiling. You don't know what pain is. You don't know suffering. You've probably lived a cozy life in that ninja village of yours, said Inari as he gasped seeing Naruto's happy demeanor do a 180. Listen, so what, your life is bad now? Get over it. People have had it worst. You still have a mother and grandfather who love and take care of you. A warm house to live in and a meal every night. You have no clue what it's like to suffer. The stark shift in Naruto was mind-boggling to everyone there. He was normally such a pleasure to be around but currently was cold and apathetic. I know a guy who lost his whole family in one night to his older brother, whom he admired. He was only 6. There's also a guy whom his entire village hated him for something out of his control. Where his existence has been ignored since being born. But you know what, they didn't mope all day long. They got up and did something about it so they can move forward in their lives. Naruto then put his utensils down as he stood up from the table. Sensei, I need to blow off some steam, I'll be in the forest training. Naruto vanished in a poof of smoke as he left the home. It was quiet for a few moments after he left until Sakura spoke up. Kakashi-sensei, the first person Naruto was talking about was Sasuke-kun, right? Who is the other one? The other one is Naruto. What? He always seemed so happy. How could he have had a terrible life like that? Indeed he was Sakura. Naruto had a pretty rough life until the Hokage personally stepped in. He's done so much to gain the village's love, but it's hard to change people's viewpoints. Naruto can change a person's viewpoint easily, but people are a different story. Maybe one day that will change. Though it has gotten better in recent years, said Kakashi as he wanted his genin to wonder what it was. What could Naruto be hated for? Thought Sasuke as before he remembered to ask Kakashi about his Sharingan. Next morning with Naruto. The following morning was absolutely beautiful in Wave Country. Naruto had stayed out all night and fallen asleep from his training session. He was snoring heavily as he laid sprawled out on the forest floor. An extremely beautiful girl in a pink dress with long black hair and chocolate brown eyes walked into the clearing Naruto was occupying. Upon noticing Naruto snoring, she decided to wake him up. That almost proved fatal as Naruto woke up and pinned her down underneath him with a kunai at her throat. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to attack you. It's just this country has a bad crime rate," said Naruto with a smile as he put his kunai away and removed himself. "Such pretty eyes," thought the girl before noticing his hand out. She took it and was helped into a stand. "Oh, it's fine, I understand completely. Wave is a pretty violent place. My name is Haku, nice to meet you." "Naruto, a pleasure to meet you, Haku. What are you doing here all alone? You said you knew how dangerous this place was," said Naruto confused at the girl's logic. "Oh, my friend needs medical attention and there are some herbs around here that can help him. Want to help me pick them?" asked Haku with a small smile. "Of course, just tell me which ones and I'll get them for you," said Naruto reciprocating the smile. Haku pointed out a few plants as Naruto began to grab them and place them in Haku's basket. Eventually, Haku popped a question. "Are you a ninja?" "Why do you ask?" "Because I noticed your figure was suited for combat like a ninja's," said Haku. She tried to say forehead protector until she noticed I didn't have mine on. "I took it off last night so I wouldn't be recognized," thought Naruto as he said, "There are plenty of people with bodies like mine who are just regular civilians, but yes, I am one." "I thought so. Do you have something precious to protect?" "I believe true strength comes from wanting to protect those precious to you," said Haku fondly thinking about her own precious person, the one in need of medical attention. "I do, my village and my friends are all precious to me and I'll protect them with my life. But you should know something, Haku, we have to face an extremely powerful foe named Zabuza. He's trying to kill us," said Naruto as Haku gasped, "but don't worry. We already found him and my team is about to kill him now," said Naruto as he was watching Haku with a critical gaze. Upon seeing Haku stiffen slightly, Naruto knew he had her. "I wish. If only it were that easy," said Naruto as Haku relaxed at the news. "Through Naruto-kun. Thank you for your help, but I need to get this back to my friend," said Haku with another smile. Before fully disappearing, Haku turned around and said, "Oh, and by the way, I'm a boy." Naruto never even reacted to the shocking news as he said, "No, you're not. I'm a ninja, remember? I noticed you have on chest bindings to hide your figure. Let's not forget when we first met and I had you pinned underneath me. My leg was in your business. Either you have a weird boy part or that was a lady part I pressed into," said Naruto still smiling. Haku had the decency to blush upon realizing that they were that close at first. "Seems I can't fool you. Either way, I need to go now. I hope to see you in the future, Naruto-kun," said Haku as she began walking away again. "Tell Zabuza I said hi," said Naruto as Haku froze in place. "I know you're that hunter nin. You fooled us all back there with that trick. I could have killed you earlier with that kunai and been done with it, but I didn't want to kill such a beautiful girl like yourself. Especially when I can't sense you want to kill me or my friends, even when I said we killed Zabuza. So please don't ruin this chance, don't come back for the old man, and that'll be the end of it. We could even become friends, but," said Naruto as he took on a more serious face, "if you come to kill the old man or my friends again, you or Zabuza, I will not hesitate to beat you to a pulp," said Naruto as he walked away. Haku stood still. Naruto figured everything from just a few minutes. He had easily deduced who she was and everything. He could have killed her when he first pounced on her and there was nothing she could have done about it. Figured out she was a girl, sensed her lack of wanting to kill someone. Her clever cover blown after a few seconds of meeting him. She had to tell Zabuza about this troubling news. 6 days later, the week had passed with no incidents. Kakashi had recovered a few days ago and began accompanying his genin to the bridge. Today would be the day that Zabuza would strike. However, Naruto wasn't there. Naruto had asked to stay home as he thought Gato would attack Tsunami to get to Tazuna. Naruto was proven right when he heard a scream and immediately set off to find out why. Naruto landed atop a building. Upon looking over the building, Naruto saw Tsunami tied up by a rope and Inari being held down by a tall man. That man was carrying a sword and another accompanied him, also carrying a sword. Naruto deemed it necessary that he should take care of this as fast as possible before something bad happened. Naruto placed his hands in the tiger hand seal and thought, Nihin Shohin no Jutsu, Temple of Nirvana technique. The thugs were laughing as it was too easy to take the bridge builder's family. Even those ninjas would stop when they noticed the hostages. Their laughing ended with a yawn when they began to notice white feathers floating down. They looked confused for a second until they both passed out into a deep slumber. Tsunami and Inari grew confused. What just happened? Why did those goons just fall asleep? Their questions became answered when Naruto landed in between them. Told you I'm awesome. Now I have to go help my friends as they will need me, said Naruto as he went through 4 hand seals and ended in the ram seal. Iwabunshin no jutsu, rock clone technique, said Naruto as 4 pieces of rock peeled off Naruto's body and formed into 4 Narutos. My clones will keep you safe until it is all over. Inari, if they need it, help protect your mom. It's time to stop moping, you need to become the next Kaiser around here. Said Naruto as he vanished with a shunshin, leaving only an afterimage behind. Tazuna's bridge. At the bridge, a battle had broken out almost as soon as they arrived. Kakashi had gone off to face Abusa. Sakura was left guarding Tazuna as Sasuke went in to face the Hunter Nin. Sasuke was dismantling the Hunter Nin into jutsu. He had a clear advantage in that aspect with his Sharingan. You're good and fast. Your eyes allow you to adjust perfectly in the middle of a battle, impressive. However, I wonder if your body can keep up with my true speed. Said the Hunter Nin as she placed her hands in a unique hand seal. A thin sheet of ice appeared in between Sasuke and the faux Hunter Nin as she said, Makyo Hyasho, demonic ice mirrors. Sasuke soon found himself trapped in a dome of 21 identical ice mirrors. He then saw the Hunter Nin step into one of the mirrors and appear in all the mirrors. After a moment, Sasuke had to dodge a barrage of senbon needles. Sasuke still managed to get hit by several senbon though, 2 in the shoulder and 4 in his leg. Sasuke stood up and determined that fire trumps ice, so he was going to melt the mirrors. Heian. Kakakyu no jutsu, fire style. Great fireball technique, said Sasuke as he sent a huge torrent of fire into one of the mirrors. He became surprised when the mirror was only lightly melted at the corners though. The mirror then regenerated right before his eyes. That level of jutsu will do you no justice here. Said the Hunter Nin as she pulled out more senbon to toss at Sasuke. I need to end this fight quickly. This jutsu is very chakra taxing and he already proved he can keep up by dodging that first attack. Before I get tired and slow down, I need to put him down. Thought Haku as she was ready to end Sasuke. Haku fired an unavoidable amount of senbon at Sasuke that would surely finish him. I'm sorry Naruto-kun, but I follow Zabuza-sama's wishes. Thought Haku sadly as she knew Sasuke would meet his end. That was all for naught as a flash of yellow appeared in her ice mirrors. Naruto appeared with his hands clasped together as he thought, Futon. Tatapa, wind style. Great breakthrough. A sudden gust of wind appeared and blew all the senbon away. You okay Sasuke? Asked Naruto with his eyes locked on Haku. Or at least her reflection. HN. Said Sasuke as he continued with, these mirrors are tough. My fire does not affect them. We might have been able to break one if you had stayed outside, but it's too late for that now. She's too fast to let you out of here without a fight. Hello, Naruto-kun. It seems your arrival is very untimely, but you're in my domain now and here I reign supreme, said Haku as she continued to send out senbon after senbon. Naruto and Sasuke were dodging them with ease as Haku had to split up her targets. Eventually, Naruto got tired of dodging and decided to end the fight. Haku, it's over, said Naruto as he flared his chakra. The effect was instantaneous. The area inside of Haku's jutsu cracked as well as the mirrors. All the fighting stopped immediately at the display of raw power. Sakura was feeling the sheer power behind the chakra and hoped it was on her side as she couldn't see through the mist. Kakashi and Zabuza both stopped at the feeling of the chakra. Kakashi grew scared thinking the Kyuubi was breaking out. That turned into awe as he realized it was only Naruto. Zabuza grew concerned for Haku inwardly. He knew Haku wouldn't be able to handle such power, he was doubting if he could. Sasuke stared in disbelief at Naruto. He had never seen this from Naruto. After 3 years of training together and being friends, Naruto still had tricks. It was during that moment that Sasuke realized the gap between him and Naruto was still too big, if not bigger. Naruto was amazing. Haku stared shocked when she saw Naruto flare his chakra. It had cracked all of her mirrors from just chakra presence alone. The kind, gentle look and the pretty violet eyes from yesterday were gone. The coldest violet eyes replaced them with an equally chilling glare. He just broke her jutsu in mere moments. It seemed he was serious about beating her to a pulp if she came. Sasuke shoot a fireball at 10 o'clock, said Naruto as Sasuke flew through the hand seals and breathed out another huge fireball without hesitation. Haku knew that even in their cracked state, her mirrors could stand to Sasuke's attack. She wasn't ready to see an entire corner of her dome obliterated by Sasuke's jutsu. How asked a shocked Haku. Heian. Chashinsei, fire style. Supernova, it's a beautiful collaboration jutsu of Sasuke's fireball and my great breakthrough. It's pretty powerful, and now we know this fight is over, said Naruto as he channeled a bit of Kurama's chakra and vanished in front of the mirror Haku was in. Haku had no time to gasp as she attempted to speak to another mirror, but her leg got caught by Naruto. Naruto then proceeded to swing her around and smash her through the mirror she just came out of. She skidded across the ground a bit until she managed to backflip back up. Upon landing on her feet, a fist met her chin. A powerful fist from Naruto sending her even further back. Naruto had performed a shunshin and appeared in Haku's face, and upon her looking up, Naruto landed a debilitating blow on her. He knew he smashed her mask because he channeled chakra into that fist. A lot of it from him and Kurama. She wouldn't be getting up for a little while after that. He walked over to Haku and took a knee next to her prone form. "Why Haku? Why would you work for Zabuza when he's trying to damn a whole country by killing a bridge builder for an evil man? You're not like this, so why go so far?" asked Naruto sadly. "Zabuza gave me purpose. I was an orphan when he found me. He trained me to be his tool and I have failed him. I am broken and no longer of use to my master. I cannot further aid my master in his goal of taking down Kurigakure's Yonde Mizuki to keep him from killing off all the bloodline users in my home. Zabuza isn't that bad to do that, Naruto-kun. Zabuza-sama feels his home is more important to him than this country's. I'm sure you do the same for Konoha," said Haku as she then looked up at Naruto with a pleading look. "Please kill me." Naruto grew shocked to hear what Zabuza's real goal was. Naruto thought Zabuza was just out to earn some money and didn't care about the people he affected by doing so. But after hearing Haku's answer, Naruto found a solution to solve all of this. "No, Haku-chan, I can't kill my friends. Besides, if you died here, you'd never get back to helping your homeland with Zabuza. Now get your pretty little buns up, we have to go save your sensei before Kakashi kills him," said Naruto as he offered Haku a hand. Haku was speechless as the kind, gentle eyes she had met came back again. Her body felt rejuvenated after looking into them. Haku took Naruto's hand, blushing slightly from Naruto's warmth, and set off with him to find Zabuza. Sasuke stood in disbelief. "Was I just forgotten? How the hell does Naruto know that Hunter Nin's name? And she's a girl. I would have been defeated by a girl if Naruto hadn't come. I need to train harder, I won't let Naruto stay so far ahead of me," thought Sasuke. But Zabuza and Kakashi had just trapped Zabuza in an awkward position. Zabuza had 9 dogs attached to him all over his body and was at Kakashi's complete mercy at the moment. Kakashi had just told Zabuza about showing him his only original jutsu when a yellow flash appeared in between them. "Yo sensei," said Naruto as Haku appeared a few moments after him. "Hello Naruto. It seems you've reached a compromise with Zabuza's help, care to explain?" said Kakashi as his dog still held firm to Zabuza. Naruto replied, "Well, I came in to save Sasuke, though I'm sure he could have won if the match lasted longer. I defeated Haku and she told me about Zabuza's goal. Zabuza's actually fighting for a good cause. He wants to end the reign of the Yonde Mizuki," finished Naruto as Kakashi looked incredulously at Zabuza. "I thought he was just doing this for money, it seems Zabuza does fight for good," thought Kakashi. Even though he thought that his dogs were still holding down Zabuza. "So what are you saying we should do, Naruto?" asked Kakashi. "I say we let them go after Tazuna completes the bridge. Killing them now would be unnecessary as it's clear they can't defeat us," said Naruto as he trailed off when he felt over 250 chakra signatures approaching the bridge. Haku and Zabuza stared at Naruto until Kakashi said, "Sensor. Must feel someone coming." Upon hearing that, Zabuza and Haku both looked in the direction that Naruto was. About a minute later, a group of about 250 people appeared with a short man in front clapping. "Beto, what are you doing here?" said Zabuza, still with Kakashi's ninja dog pack on him. "It seems the demon of the mist was a farce in the end. I knew you couldn't complete the mission. And even if you had, I would have killed you anyway. What do I look like paying a punk like you? So I waited until you all tired yourselves out and now I'm going to have my men dispose of all of you, including the bridge builder," said Geto as he laughed. "It seems we are no longer enemies, Kakashi," said Zabuza as Kakashi nodded and his ninja dogs dispelled in a poof. Zabuza was still pretty roughed up though and couldn't use his arms at the moment. He looked at Naruto and said, "Hey kid, spare a kunai?" Naruto looked at Zabuza for a moment until he said, "Sure, as long as I get to use your sword." Zabuza chuckled at Naruto's naivety. He wouldn't be able to pick up that sword and even if he could, he wouldn't have the strength to use it. "Sure, whatever kid, I just need it back after we're done," said Zabuza as he caught Naruto's kunai in his teeth. Kakashi lowered his headband back down as he wouldn't need it for this fight. Haku also stepped up by Zabuza's side as she was willing to take out a few. Sasuke appeared on Kakashi's side as well, believing he might as well take his frustration out on something, and Geto brought the perfect opportunity. In the middle, wielding the Kubikirabacho, decapitating carving knife, was Naruto. Naruto had to channel some of Kurama's chakra to augment his strength just so he could wield it. It felt so good in his hands. Looking to his right and seeing Zabuza and Haku, then to his left to see Kakashi and Sasuke, Naruto smirked. "Let's go wild." 2 days later, how did Zabuza kill the most people and even Geto with no arms? That's outrageous, said Naruto as he was reminiscing about the battle at the bridge a few days ago. I'm good like that kid, I'm good like that, said Zabuza. Well Kakashi, it seems me and Haku are done from doing this type of business. Maybe we will go and see how Kiri is doing since it's been almost a decade since I left. The bloodline rebels may have an organized front we can join. Kakashi nodded as he had heard all about Kiri's internal issues. Until next time Zabuza, hopefully on friendlier terms, said Kakashi as he waved goodbye. Zabuza then turned to Naruto and said, kid, you could have let us be killed. But you didn't, and for that I say, you suck as a ninja. Said Zabuza as he looked shocked to see Naruto slump over and fall into a terrible depression. Could this kid not take a joke? But you're a hell of a person and I'm glad to call you a friend. Thank you for giving us the chance to live. Maybe one day I'll teach you how to use a sword. Just ask and I'll try to arrange something. Until then, don't be such a punk ass. Said Zabuza as he fist bumped Naruto. Naruto-kun. Thank you so much, I don't know what would have happened. I could have died, Zabuza-sama could have died. But none of that happened because you're such a forgiving person. Thank you for the chance we didn't deserve. I hope to see you in the future sometime. Said Haku as she got bold and hugged Naruto. So warm, thought Haku. And I the same. See you later Haku. And kick some ass in the war. Said Naruto as they broke apart and waved goodbye. As Naruto watched them walk away, he turned around to see his team halfway down the path already. Guys wait up. My team shows me no love, said Naruto crying as he raced to catch his teammates. As he was trying to reach his team, Naruto didn't get to hear the naming of Tazuna's bridge. The Great Naruto Bridge, in honor of the most recent hero of Wave. Chapter 7. Chunin exams start. Time skip 2 months. It had been an eventful 2 months for Team 7. They had gone on 5 more C-rank missions and even a B rank. 3 of their C ranks were simply escorting missions, no ninja contact like the Wave mission. The other 4 were eradicating bandit camps, with one having a few missing ninjas, making it their first B rank. Normally a ninja's first kill would haunt them, but Kakashi dealt with it perfectly. Before their first kill, Kakashi had acquired 3 of the cutest baby birds he could find. He then handed each of his students 1 bird. Naruto, Sakura and even Sasuke became mesmerized by the 3 birds' cuteness. They knew they wouldn't want anything to ever harm them, they were theirs forever. However, Kakashi told them to kill their bird or it was D ranks for life. With heavy hearts, except for Sasuke who acted indifferent on the outside, Team Kakashi silently killed their baby bird. Needless to say, neither Genin became haunted when they killed during their bandit eradication missions. They had succeeded in all of their missions with great efficiency and minimal injuries. Team 7's Genin also progressed individually during that time span. Sakura had progressed mainly in medical ninjutsu. She could heal light injuries with ease now and became a very important member of Team 7, more so than ever due to her abilities as a medic. Sasuke progressed as well. Sasuke had strengthened his taijutsu some more by getting faster because he still wanted and needed his body to catch up to his eyes, mainly because Naruto still exploited that fact in their spars. Sasuke had also honed his fire release and Sharingan Jinjutsu. He tried hard to gain the 3rd Tomo in his eyes, but they hadn't come yet. Naruto had done amazing in the 2 months. Tenzo had finally made contact with him again since Team 7 became Team 7 right after his coming back from Wave. As a result, he taught Naruto the jutsu that made hashirama so great, Kakuin Nitten Sushu, 10th Edict of Enlightenment. The power to tame tailed beasts. The technique used the power of Mokuton to forcibly suppress a tailed beast's power. Tenzo showed Naruto the jutsu for when he ever came across another Jinchuriki or Biju. Naruto had learned the jutsu by the end of the 1st month and was only getting better at it. Not only had he learned that jutsu, but Naruto's speed at using the Shunshin had also finally reached an incomparable level. He had gotten it down to no need for hand seals and could use it against opponents in battle. Kakashi still could keep pace easily, but that was because he was an elite Jonin. Chunin and below would have trouble with Naruto's speed increase. Kakashi knew his team was easily Chunin exam material. Naruto was a surefire Chunin, maybe Jonin for that matter. Sasuke was at least a Chunin as well. It'd take some luck for Sakura, but he was positive his team could handle the exams. As a result, his team received his recommendation for the exams tomorrow. Several hours later, after receiving his form from Kakashi, Naruto decided to eat at his favorite restaurant. After his fill of ramen, Naruto began to walk out of Ichiraku's and head nowhere in particular. Naruto was walking alone, so he thought. He chuckled slightly when he noticed a rock was following him. A perfectly square rock with 2 eye holes in it. Upon recognizing the chakra signature and sensing 2 more within it, Naruto decided to talk to his followers. "Come on Konohamaru, I know you can do better than that," said Naruto. After he finished, the rock came flying off as a huge plume of smoke billowed out. As it cleared, it revealed Konohamaru and 2 other children his age. The kid to Konohamaru's right was a boy with short brown hair and black eyes. He wore round glasses and had an ever-present drip of snot from his nose. He wore a simple blue t-shirt that zipped up the middle, a pair of brown pants, sandals, and a pair of blue wristbands to represent his membership in the Konohamaru Ninja Squad. The kid to Konohamaru's left was a girl with orange hair tied up by 2 red elastic bands into 2 very large pigtails and a perpetual blush on her cheeks. She also wears a red tank top over a pink t-shirt layered at the bottom, her pants are grey and she wears the traditional ninja sandals. She also wears a pair of blue wristbands to honor Naruto as a member of the Konohamaru Ninja Squad. Naruto had given Konohamaru his blue wristbands one day when he visited him. Ever since, Konohamaru had donned them and seemed to acquire 2 more members, impressive. Konohamaru spoke up upon the smoke dissipating, told you he was amazing. Guys, this is Naruto. Boss, this is Yuden and Mogi. We are the Konohamaru Ninja Squad. Finished Konohamaru with a pose of authority. Hi, I'm Mogi and it's nice to meet you Naruto-san. Konohamaru has told us great things about you, said Mogi with a smile and a deeper blush as she noticed Naruto smiling back. He's hunky, thought Mogi looking Naruto up and down. I'm Yuden. It's nice to meet you. Oh no, I screwed up. Said Yuden ashamed at his first time talking to Naruto. Boss, come play ninja with us, you haven't played with me since the Konohamaru Ninja Squad became a squad. Playing ninja Naruto? I thought being a ninja stopped you from pretending to be a ninja. Said Sakura as she had come over when she spotted Naruto. Oh hey, Sakura-chan. There's nothing wrong with playing ninja. Plus Konohamaru's better than most of my opponents. Said Naruto when he noticed Konohamaru had his pinky held up. Boss, is that your girlfriend? Said Konohamaru. Naruto laughed when he realized what Konohamaru meant with that pinky. Oh, probably not since you're laughing, I'd laugh at that hair. I mean, who has pink hair? Does she dye it? What a weirdo, finished Konohamaru as he was hit by a vicious killing intent. Konohamaru looked up to see Sakura seething. Naruto whispered in Konohamaru's ear, run. Not needing to get told twice, he took off in a full sprint. Sakura was in hot pursuit as she rounded the corner Konohamaru just took. Upon doing so, she noticed Konohamaru bump into someone. Ouch, I'm sorry sir. I was running and wasn't paying attention to where I was going, said Konohamaru as he then found himself picked up by his collar. Watch where you're going punk, said the older boy grabbing Konohamaru. He had black eyes and purple facial paint on. He was clad in a black baggy full bodysuit with a red and yellow circle on the front. He also wears a black hood that covered his head completely and had cat-like ears and his forehead protector on his forehead. Stop it Kankuro, he already said sorry. Leave him alone. Said a teal-eyed girl with sandy blonde hair and 4 ponytails. She was wearing a single light purple-colored off-the-shoulder garment that extended to halfway down her thighs with a scarlet sash tied around her waist. In addition to incorporating fishnet worn over her shoulders and legs, specifically on her right calf and her left thigh, she also wore her black forehead protector around her neck. No Tamari, I plan to teach this punk a lesson, said Kankuro as he ready to fist. Sakura was going to speak up until Naruto appeared beside her in a shunshin. Excuse me, sir, I would recommend putting him down, said Naruto. Yeah, what are you going to do about it blondie, said Kankuro as he turned his head to look at Naruto. Naruto gasped as he said, oh my, I'm sorry miss. I thought you were a boy at first. Tamari chuckled slightly as Kankuro blurted out, what the hell are you talking about? I'm a guy. Then why the hell are you wearing all that makeup, said Naruto causing Tamari to laugh a little harder. It's war paint, not makeup. Why does everyone say that? Asked Kankuro before he was hit by a rock. That shocked him enough to drop Konohamaru, who immediately dashed for Naruto. Konohamaru, I don't think you need to stay here now, go on home, said Naruto to Konohamaru, who hurried home afterward. Sasuke landed next to Naruto as he said, you should pick on someone your own size. Kankuro looked irate at Sasuke as he touched a bandaged object behind him. Sasuke pulled out a kunai as he readied for Kankuro's assault. Tamari made a move for her fan until she felt her hand land on another hand. I wouldn't do that, let's let them do something stupid, said Naruto, who was standing behind Tamari smiling. I didn't even see him move. Thought Tamari as she noticed an image of Naruto in place of where he was. Was that a shunshin? That was way too fast. This guy's good and he's not too bad on the eyes. Thought Tamari as she blushed slightly looking at Naruto. Then blushed harder when she realized her hand was still on his. She took it off and turned away back to Kankuro. Kankuro had noticed Tamari's dilemma but continued when he realized Naruto wasn't going to do anything. However, before he could start on the bandages, he froze when he heard another voice. You both are embarrassments. Said a new voice who appeared in a swirl of sand via shunshin. He was a short male with short spiky red hair. He had black rings around his blue-green eyes with no pupil or eyebrows. He wore a black full bodysuit with t-shirt-like sleeves, 3/4 length legs, and an open neck. He also wore a white cloth over his right shoulder and the left side of his hips and a wide leather band system over the left shoulder and right side of his hips. With this leather band, he carried around his gourd that contained his sand. He also wrapped his black forehead protector over the band. "Gaara," said Kankuro as he stopped what he was doing upon Gaara's arrival. "Stop speaking before I kill you," said Gaara as he turned to look at Naruto. "You, with the blonde hair, my name is Gaara, what is yours?" "My name is Naruto." "That is Sasuke and Sakura," said Naruto as he pointed to his two teammates. "Are you competing in the Chunin exams?" asked Gaara. "That we are, I'm assuming you all are as well." "Being Tsunagakure Shinobi in Konoha," said Naruto, still behind Temari. "Of course. It'll be entertaining going against you Naruto," said Gaara before he started walking off. "Temari, Kankuro. We're going." Naruto moved out of Temari's way as he said, "It was a pleasure meeting you Temari-chan." "It was a pleasure meeting you too," said Temari, blushing as she left. "Chen. I would have kicked that cross-dresser's ass," said Sasuke. Naruto laughed as he said, "I'm sure you would have. I'm sure you would have. Unless he kicked your ass with that bandaged-up makeup kit on his back. Either way, we have a big day ahead of us tomorrow. I'm gonna get prepped for it. Peace out," said Naruto as he vanished. Sasuke and Sakura did the same as they left to get ready for the Chunin exams tomorrow. One day later, Team 7 arrived at the academy the following morning for the Chunin exams. They had instructions to go to room 301 and headed upstairs to get to their room. Upon arriving, they noticed they were only on the second floor and spotted a door with 301 on the sign. Immediately recognizing the Genjutsu and Henge, Naruto thought, must be a test. If Genin can't spot a simple Genjutsu like that one, they don't deserve to be in the exams. "We should just Wakaru." Sasuke cut him from that thought when he spoke. "Drop the Henge and Genjutsu, you're not fooling any of us good ninjas with it," said Sasuke as both techniques dissolved. Naruto palmed his face as one of the now Chunin spoke up, "Seems we have a cocky one Katetsu." Katetsu then said, "Indeed we do, looks like I'll have to put him in his place," said Katetsu as he kicked out at Sasuke. However, a kid in a green spandex jumpsuit stopped the kick short. "Hello, my name is Rock Lee, might I have your names?" said Rock Lee, the kid in the green jumpsuit, to Sasuke, letting Katetsu's leg go. "Chen. I'm Sasuke Uchiha, this is Sakura Haruno and Naruto Senju. We are Team Kakashi. Who are you all?" said Sasuke in reply. "As I said, I am Rock Lee, this is Tenten and Niji Hyuga. We are Team Guy," said Rock Lee. "Well, we hope to see you in the exams," said Sasuke as he and his teammates both walked off. "Seems they are a strong team with the Uchiha and Senju. Wonder how good they are," thought Niji to himself. "Damn. That Senju kid is smoking hot, but I'll beat his ass if we come across each other," thought Tenten as she and Niji noticed Rock Lee was gone. Team 7 was just about to turn the corner to room 301 when they heard a shout. "Please stop," said Rock Lee as he landed behind Team 7. "Sasuke Uchiha, I would like to challenge you to a spar. I am the best genin in the class this year and I would like to test my skills against you. You are a natural genius and I am a genius of hard work and I would like to test myself against you," finished Rock Lee as he got into a beginning stance. Sasuke activated his Sharingan and was about to say yes until Naruto said, "Sasuke. I believe it's unwise to face him without knowing what he can do. He seemed extremely fast when he blocked that kick earlier and if I'm not mistaken, that's the Goken fighting style. Very formidable to jutsu. You would suffer unnecessary injuries battling him. Let us continue without this, we'll face him later," said Naruto as Sasuke agreed. "My teammate is right. We don't have much time to get to the exam. We'll save that spar for later," said Sasuke. Before Rock Lee could respond, a grown-up version of Rock Lee appeared landing beside him. "Sensei, why are you here?" asked Lee to Guy. "Lee, my beautiful student. I came to make sure you weren't starting trouble. What are you doing to these fine, youthful ninjas?" asked Guy. "Nothing Guy-sensei, I challenged Sasuke-kun to a spar here. But he reminded me that we had little time to get to the exams, so we scheduled it for later," replied Lee as he looked to see his sensei's face cringing up. "What a beautiful display of youth. To remind you of your pressing exam, so you wouldn't be late. It's so beautiful to think about it, isn't it Lee?" said Guy, face full of tears. Lee immediately starting crying looking at Guy crying. "Lee. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy-sensei." Team 7 bore witness to a horrifying genjutsu. Rock Lee and his elder clone were hugging on a beach cliff, complete with waves crashing against it and a beautiful sunset. Sasuke's Sharingan couldn't even dispel the genjutsu. Naruto tried to even use some of Kurama's chakra to forcibly dispel the illusion, but it was to no avail. Nothing worked. They stayed and watched the genjutsu until its end. Slightly disoriented at what they just watched, Team 7 finally made it into room 301. Upon arriving, Naruto was immediately pounced on by a purple blur. "Naruto-kun, how I've missed you," said Ino as she rubbed her cheek with Naruto's. "Hi, Ino-chan. It's nice to see you too. Yo, Shika and Choji," said Naruto as the boys from Team 10 showed up after Ino. Troublesome. Of course, Naruto's in this exam, said Shikamaru as he fist bumped Naruto. Choji did likewise after wiping the chips off his hand. No pig, what are you doing to Naruto? Did you finally give up hope on Sasuke-kun? Said Sakura with a smirk. Ino immediately stopped and was going to respond until another person made his presence known. What's up everybody? Seems the gang's all here. Started Kiba, you know what, they should call us the Rookie 9. As we're the first rookies in the Chunin exams in the past few years. Said Kiba loudly as he fist bumped Naruto. Shino and Hinata were walking up beside him. Naruto was about to respond again, but an older boy appeared and spoke to the group. You should talk more quietly. You're drawing a lot of attention to yourself. Said the boy as Naruto noticed that everybody in the room was staring at them. Sasuke looked at the guy for a second, who are you? I've never seen you in the Leaf Village. Said Sasuke as he noticed the boy's leaf forehead protector. The boy was older than the Rookie 9, he looked about 20 years old and had on a pair of round glasses. He had onyx eyes and ash gray hair, which was in a ponytail that extended to his upper back, with bangs framing either side of his forehead. He wore a dark purple shirt with a high collar, a wide undershirt, dark purple fingerless gloves with armored plates on the back of the hand, a white cloth waistband worn at an angle, dark purple pants, blue sandals, and a shuriken holster on his right leg. I am Kabuto Yakushi. I haven't seen everyone in Konoha either, so it's not hard for me to not be seen either. Said Kabuto before he continued with, I've been in a lot of these exams, I figured I should help you guys. Shikamaru noticed he said a lot and wondered how many exams have you been in? It's a biannual event and this is my 4th year trying. I'm on my 7th attempt, said Kabuto smiling. Damn. You must suck, said Kiba in a brash tone. What? Everyone was thinking it. Maybe you're right. But like I said, it is a pretty tough event. Since I've been in so many of these things. I've amassed a bit of knowledge. I could even share some if you'd like. I've got it all down on these cards. Said Kabuto as he pulled out a stack of blank cards. Sasuke perked up slightly. He had a few names. Do you have info on Rock Lee, Gaara, and Naruto Senju? Said Sasuke as everyone gasped when he said Naruto. So you know their names, well that makes it easy, said Kabuto as he pulled out 3 cards and channeled a bit of chakra into them. Okay, first up Rock Lee. Konoha Genin with tremendous ability in Taijutsu. Says his nin and Jinjutsu are nil. He is a member of Team 9 led by Might Guy as his sensei. Niji Hyuga and Tenten are his teammates. Says he has completed 42 D ranks and 35 C rank missions. Has been a Genin for a year, graduating a year before you guys. Said Kabuto as he shifted to a different card. Gaara of the Desert. I have little on this guy being from a different village. Says he mainly uses sand in all of his attacks and is very formidable in battle with it. He has done 12 D rank missions, 52 C rank missions, and even 1 B rank mission. Whoa, it says here that he hasn't received an injury, ever. Said Kabuto as a few of the Genin got shocked faces at the news. Kabuto finally shifted to Naruto's card. Naruto Senju. From the famed Senju clan of the 1000 skills. This is impressive, says he is proficient in all the shinobi arts with ninjutsu being his favorite. His chakra levels are off the charts and it even says his control over it is just as impressive. Seems he is a chakra monster. He is a member of Team 7 led by Kakashi Haddock. His teammates are Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. Says he has completed 48 D rank missions, 6 C rank missions, 1 B rank, and even an A rank. Has been dubbed the hero of Wave and he's only been a Genin for about 4 months. Quite impressive. He's probably the strongest person here. Said Kabuto a little loudly when he claimed Naruto was the strongest. The gasp was heard from everyone in the Rookie 9 besides Team 7 and Shikamaru. Naruto was that strong? His team had gone on an A rank mission. How did he become the hero of Wave? Troublesome, I already knew Naruto was that good. Now, this guy had to go off and say it. Now Naruto has all these people in here targeting him. Oh well, I hope he gets taken out before he comes our way. But how does this guy know so much? Thought Shikamaru to himself. HN. Glad I threw the focus to Naruto while also gaining more information on my enemies. Thought Sasuke. This guy knows too much to be a Genin. Plus I can feel the bad vibes coming off him. I need to find a way to tell Gigi. Having information of that quality could make this guy a spy. Thought Naruto before he saw a mummy come past his face. The mummy's target was Kabuto as he threw a punch. Kabuto dodged it easily but soon fell to his knees as his glasses cracked. He's not the strongest one here, don't doubt us from sound. Said the mummy to Kabuto. That instrument on his arm. Seems it emits a sound that damages the body. I'll have to look out for that. Thought Naruto before a poof occurred in the room. Sit down and shut up. I am Ibiki Marino, the proctor for this first exam, welcome to hell, said Ibiki as he signaled for his helpers to place the Genin in their seats and start handing out the tests. Naruto noticed that he was nowhere near his team. He was in the middle, Sasuke behind him in the back rows, and Sakura in the front. Seemed every team was split like that. As the tests got handed out, Ibiki gave out the rules for the first exam. You will all have an hour for this first test. You'll have 45 minutes for the first 9 questions on your test. In the last 15 minutes of your test, I'll give you the 10th question. If caught cheating, you and your team's disqualification and exam end are next. You may use whatever abilities you have to gain your answers though, just remember to not get caught. Begin. Said Ibiki as the clock ticked perfectly at 9 o'clock. Right on time. Naruto heard writing immediately as Ibiki said that. He looked down at his test and immediately realized something weird. These questions are way too hard for any mere genin to answer. I wonder if any jonin could answer them. The guy row below and 3 seats to the left seems to not have trouble. Actually, I can see an imprint of a flak jacket on his shirt. He is a Chunin placed in here with the answers. So it seems they are testing our stealth for this exam. Clever. But I wonder what the 10th question is like. Oh well, might as well get my 9 questions over. Thought Naruto. Naruto waited for the Chunin to turn his paper over, signaling his finish. Naruto's foot merged with the wooden floor below him as he created a Moku Bunshin, wood clone, into the floor. The Bunshin traveled underground with Doton. More Ragaker no Jutsu, Earth style. Hiding like a mole technique to get underneath the Chunin's desk. Right underneath the Chunin's paper, the Bunshin's eyes appeared and took note of every one of his answers. It then proceeded to head back to its original undetected. After merging back with its creator, Naruto immediately received information from his clone. He then finished his test as he waited for the 10th question. Sakura had already known the answers to the test and was writing them down like the boss she was. Finally. All the knowledge that I studied hard for is paying off. And they thought I was a weirdo for trying to learn everything. Thought Sakura as she swiftly finished her 9 questions. Sasuke noticed just like Naruto that there were Chunin with the answers sitting in the exam. He activated his Sharingan and began copying the Chunin's pencil movements to get the answers. Worked like a charm. Eventually, the 45 minutes were up and Ibiki stood up to give the 10th question. Listen up maggots, there are rules to this question. First off, if you decide to stay for this question and miss it, you will immediately fail and you and your team are all gone. Secondly, if you do fail this question, you cannot take another Chunin exam ever again. Said Ibiki as he heard gasps and a shout. Some genin have been here before, how is that possible if they missed a question? Said a genin from a megaker. This is my exam. I make the rules so deal with it. Now is there anyone who wants to leave? If you leave now, none of that applies to you and you can always take another test at a later date. Said Ibiki as he watched about another 8 teams leave. Seems 28 teams are still in the exam, 84 kids. Anko will never let me live this down. Thought Ibiki as he looked at Naruto. You sure you want to stay blondie? This is your last chance, said Ibiki as he saw Naruto smile a little. I wouldn't mind. Being a Chunin or higher is not necessary to become Hokage. However, my teammates need me here and I have a bigger prize for becoming a Chunin. This test won't stop me. Not to mention that I figured out your test. Said Naruto. Oh and what would that be? Said Ibiki. This is a test to see if we had Chunin level abilities in stealth. Hence, the task of trying to gain answers in a crowded room with spectators watching us. Said Naruto as he continued with, your 10th question is also a test. A test to see if we had the willingness to go on with the risks. As Chunin, we may have to go on missions that have risks as severe as the one you gave us. You're trying to find the ones who would stay and that would mean we passed the 10th question, as staying was the answer to it. Finished Naruto, who received a high five from Kiba in the row behind him. Damn. That kid is good. That was definitely Chunin level thinking. Kids going places. Thought Ibiki before he began to say, well the brat's right. Anyone still here has passed. Congratulations on passing the first exam. Before the next proctor comes, I want to tell you the boom. Ibiki was interrupted when the wall exploded and a huge banner came flying in. Accompanying the banner was a woman with violet hair and light brown, pupil-less eyes. She was wearing a tan overcoat with a purple inseam, which has a pocket on both sides, and complete with a fitted mesh bodysuit that stretches from her neck down to her thighs. She wears a dark orange miniskirt, as well as a forehead protector, a small pendant that looks like a snake fang on a thick cord, a wristwatch, and pale gray shin guards. She also wore a dark blue belt around her waist that connects to her skirt that has an appendage-like sash. On the banner was a sign that said the sexy and single Anko Mitarashi. Hello kiddies, I am your proctor for the second exam, Anko, said Anko as she stared at the genin. Your arrival was early, said Ibiki, as the clock struck 10 o'clock at that moment. You also let 84 brats pass, so it's fine. I'll cut em in half, at least, before the third exam. Said Anko, you have 15 minutes to get to training ground 44, which is a straight line through this wall. Move it. Finished Anko as she disappeared with a puff of smoke. Well damn she's hot, said Kiba as he and Naruto shared another high five as they saw how good Anko looked in her clothing. They were 14 years old, who wouldn't notice Anko's hot body, especially in that outfit. Soon all the genin were out of the room and headed toward training ground 44. 15 minutes later, Anko appeared and proceeded to hand out instructions for the next test. Welcome to my home brats. This is training ground 44, better known as the Forest of Death. Anko smirked at seeing the genin's shocked faces. However, she did notice that Naruto wasn't caring in the least. Seems he needs some more motivation. Thought Anko as she threw a high-speed kunai at Naruto. The kunai was so fast that no one even saw Anko move her arm or see the kunai fly through the air. A few did, including Naruto, and as a result, Naruto leaned his head to the side as the kunai flew by his face. He then felt Anko appear behind him with another kunai at his cheek. Seems I can't scare you with this big, scary forest. So I'll have to do it myself, said Anko. She was about to press the kunai closer to Naruto's cheek when she felt a kunai on her inner thigh. Seems you can't either. Thanks for the warning though, but I believe I'll be safe, said Naruto in a whisper so no one else heard him. The kunai was also situated where nobody could see either. Hell yeah, I handled that like a champ. Thought Naruto before he lost his composure completely. Anko had moved closer to Naruto, which pressed her ample chest into his back and placed her lady business over his hand and kunai. Seems I can't. If only you were a little older brat, you might have gotten a prize. I saw you high-five that dog boy after his comment on my looks. Said Anko as she licked Naruto's face with a long tongue. Naruto immediately stiffened and turned red. She's not wearing underwear. Thought Naruto flustered for the first time in his life. Still got it. Thought Anko as she immediately pointed a kunai at the most creepy-looking genin she had ever seen. She wasn't weird-looking, she just looked too normal, it was creepy. Here's your kunai back. Said the Kusagakure genin as Anko took back her kunai and walked back to the front. Now for this exam, each of you will be handed a scroll, said Anko as she held up 2 scrolls. You'll either get an earth scroll or a heaven scroll. Whichever scroll you get, your team must get the opposite. After obtaining the other scroll, your team must make it to the center of the forest with both scrolls to pass. You'll each be given a gate to go ahead from where you will sign a death waiver. Anything goes in the forest, and the death waiver is so we're not blamed for your lack of skills. Goodbye for now, finished Anko with a wink at the still red Naruto. I can still feel the warmth, thought Naruto, cut from his musings by a tug from Sakura. Team 7 arrived at their gate and a ninja gave them their earth scroll, which Naruto gladly took. Soon Anko sounded the horn that started the second exam. Chapter 8. Forest of Death. It had been about 3 hours since the start of the exam. Team 7 was leaping high above the ground, from treetop to treetop. Team 7 eventually came to a stop as Naruto landed in the middle of a clearing. Naruto, why did you stop? Asked Sasuke as he landed next to Naruto. Naruto put a hand behind his head and turned around with a sheepish look. I have to pee. I told you to go before we left, said Sasuke as he pinched his nose. Give me the scroll. Don't need you to get ambushed. Naruto handed Sasuke the team's earth scroll. Naruto was about to take off until he heard Sakura voice her concerns. Why Sasuke-kun? Naruto's still the strongest. He'd have a better chance going against a whole team than me and you together. Said Sakura before she saw Naruto shiver slightly. Naruto looked toward Sakura with a creeped-out look. Sakura-chan, I would freeze up. That's a fear of mine. Fighting someone with my junk out, Naruto shivered once more. I've never pissed the same since Kakashi-sensei brought that up. Naruto disappeared into the wilderness as Sasuke and Sakura conversed for a bit. About 4 minutes later, Naruto appeared back in the clearing. Yo guys, I'm back. Let's get to this, said Naruto as he landed. Sasuke nodded as Sakura said, Naruto. You didn't give me a kiss before you left. What? Am I not your girlfriend anymore? Said Sakura with a pout. Naruto looked shocked for a second until he said, sorry Sakura-chan. Slipped my mind. Naruto puckered up and leaned in for a kiss. Instead of lips, he met a foot. That foot was a part of Sasuke's leg. Whoa, what's going on Sasuke? Said Naruto as the kick sent him sailing back. Sasuke looked bored as he said, you're a terrible henge user first off. Naruto has 3 stripes, not 2 on his sleeves. Secondly, Naruto would have dodged that kick, you trash ninja. Thirdly, we already knew you were here. Naruto's a censor, he found all 3 of you. Him saying he had to pee alerted us to your presence. Me and Sakura made that girlfriend thing up to test for the real Naruto, and sadly, you failed. Finished Sasuke as Naruto looked shocked. Sasuke then tied up the hurt Naruto 1 kick, and you're already finished. You must not dance well. Not a second after Sasuke finished speaking, 2 Hokage genin came flying into the clearing. Though they were unconscious and tied up. Another Naruto followed after them as he came jumping back into view with his teammates. Naruto handed Sasuke 100 Ryo as he said, damn, I was too slow. Shouldn't have taken that piss. Naruto dropped his henge, seems we were careless. said the now revealed Omegaker Genin. Naruto showed his teammates the earth scroll he acquired from the AIM Genin he was facing. Seems it is useless. But the more scrolls we have, the less people who pass. Sorry. Finished Naruto as he knocked the last Genin out cold. After tying the AIM Genin to a tree. Team 7 was once again jumping through the forest. About 30 minutes later, they made contact with another team. And a huge snake. That's a big snake, said Naruto, surprised he couldn't sense it beforehand. The snake's ambush took Naruto far away from his teammates as they disappeared through the forest. Sasuke and Sakura were immediately on edge when they noticed the 3 Kusagakure Genin standing in front of them. It was the creepy-looking girl again. She said, "You two, deal with the Senju kid. Kill him if you can. I'll deal with these two." Following orders, both Kusagakure Genin disappeared, following Naruto and the snake summon. Upon seeing the 2 other ninjas leave, Sasuke asked a question. "Seems you're the leader. So which scroll do you have?" The Kusagakure Genin pulled out a heaven scroll. "You want my heaven scroll, right? Since you have an earth scroll." "Well," said the Genin as she swallowed her scroll, "let's battle for the scrolls. With our lives." With Naruto was taken for a ride by the snake, eventually ending up nearly a mile away from Sasuke and Sakura before stopping. "I couldn't even sense that snake until it was too late, plus it popped up out of nowhere. That means it is a summon. Snake summons usually mean something bad if they're from the guy I think they're from," thought Naruto. Naruto had to dodge the snake as it lashed at him in an attempt to eat the golden blonde Genin. "I need to get back to my teammates. It seems that separating us was on purpose. I have no time to play around," thought Naruto. He put his hand in a half-ram seal and channeled some chakra. Underneath the snake were a dozen explosive notes. Naruto had dropped them when he evaded the snake's lunge. Boom. "Wow, that was huge. That snake is gone for real," said Naruto. Naruto whipped out a kunai as he blocked the strike from the arrival of a Kusagakure Genin. "Seems you're pretty good. However, there are 2 of us," said the Genin who was clashing kunai with Naruto. Naruto looked shocked as he spotted the other Genin. "Hello Naruto Senju. We are here to end you. Our leader said you must die, so be gone," said the Genin not clashed with Naruto. That Genin pulled out a sword as he lunged at Naruto. The sword pierced Naruto cleanly through the stomach. The 2 Genin smirked at the sight of Naruto's facial expressions, but those smirks dropped when they noticed Naruto turn into mud. Both Genin felt a hand grab their leg. "Oten. Shinju's Anshu no Jutsu, Earth style. Double suicide decapitation technique," said Naruto underneath both Genin. He then proceeded to drag both Genin up to their necks in the ground. "Thank you Kakashi-sensei," thought Naruto as he popped out of the ground behind the 2 immobilized Genin. "Seems I am pretty good," said Naruto as he took the sword dropped by the Genin. "Before I kill you, who is this letter out to kill me?" asked Naruto as he faced one of the Genin. "I won't tell you anything, you can know has come. You may as well," Kai started the Genin until Naruto cut him off by piercing him through the eye, killing him immediately. "Well then. On to you. Who do you work for? I may not kill you if you tell me," said Naruto as he stared at the remaining Genin. The Genin was absolutely terrified. He had just killed him. Legitimately killed him, no torture, nothing. He had no chance at all. He wasn't going to make the same mistake. He needed to live. "Orochimaru," said the Genin trembling. "I figured as much," said Naruto as he killed the Genin as well. "I do not like killing but it is necessary. I will kill any traitor to the Leaf or anyone who works for that traitor," said Naruto as he channeled a massive amount of chakra. He was gone in a high-powered shunshin. But Sasuke and Sakura, the Kusagakure ninja, pulled down her eyelid as she said, "Let's begin." Sasuke and Sakura were immediately assaulted by visions of their death. The visions were so shocking that they were both paralyzed immediately. "Is this a Jinjutsu?" thought Sasuke in a panic. "No, this is just killing intent. The intent is so powerful that it's induced fear on this scale. We have to get out of here." Seems neither of you can move." Pitiful, said the Kusagakure ninja as she threw 2 kunai at Sasuke's and Sakura's heads. Sasuke had somehow managed to take out a kunai, which he proceeded to use for stabbing his own leg. That shock to his system enabled his body to respond to his commands. He immediately rescued Sakura while dodging both kunai and fled behind a nearby tree. The Kusagakure ninja smiled slightly. He stabbed himself in the leg to allow himself control over his body. Seems he is more special than I thought. After being rescued, Sakura looked to Sasuke. "Sasuke-kun, you saved." Sasuke placed a hand over Sakura's mouth, keeping her from talking and potentially giving away their position. He then placed a finger over his mouth in a shushing way. "We must run before we are found again. Where is Naruto? He'd really be of help in this situation," thought Sasuke. So into his thoughts, he barely dodged the snake that had appeared in between him and Sakura. "Damn it, I was panicked so much that I forgot to check my surroundings. Now she's found us again." The snake then opened its jaws as the Kusagakure Genin appeared coming out. Sasuke threw a dozen kunai into its mouth to catch the ninja off guard. It was all for naught as the genin just burst out of the side of the snake. You shouldn't relax for even a moment. Prey should always try to run in a predator's presence, said the genin as she slithered towards Sasuke. However, before she could get there, she halted due to a barrage of shuriken landing in between her and Sasuke. Sorry Sasuke. Didn't mean to take so long, said Naruto as he landed on a nearby branch. Naruto, said Sakura relieved at his arrival. That meant he had dealt with his opposition and he looked relatively unharmed. Must have been easy. Should have known he'd be here so soon. Those useless idiots stood no chance against him, thought the Chunin. Naruto. This ninja is way too advanced to just be a genin. She's on a totally different level than anything we've ever faced. We need to run away, said Sasuke. He looks like you successfully defeated that giant snake and my two teammates, Naruto-kun, said the Chunin. Yeah. She is Orochimaru, thought Naruto before he said, seems you're picking on Genin now, Orochimaru-san. What makes you think that I'm Orochimaru? Questioned the Chunin. The snake summon at first. Only Konoha held that contractor used to as Orochimaru took it away. Secondly, the way you move is reminiscent of a snake. Meaning you use the Hibi style Taijutsu taught by the snakes, which Orochimaru uses. But you could have taught someone those things. So I finally had your lackeys confirm my suspicions before I killed them. Finished Naruto as he made eye contact with Sasuke's Sharingan for a moment. The Chunin showed no outward reaction at the deduction, but inwardly grew pleased. That kid is incredible. To be able to deduce things so easily and with only one look. That's thinking on a level fit for a cage. He's too good. Even getting the information out of my subordinates that fast. Boy must have incredible talent. If only his body could be mine. That damnable Biju would possibly mess up my transfer. And even my curse seal. Too bad, looks like I'll have to dispose of him as he'll become a major threat in the future. Or maybe I could get him to side with me. Thought Orochimaru still disguised as the Chunin. Orochimaru the S-rank missing nin from Konoha. One of the legendary Sannin, we stand no chance. I'll just give him the scroll, Naruto already has another earth scroll, so why bother with him? Thought Sasuke as he took out the earth scroll. Here, I will give you the scroll. Please take it and leave us, said Sasuke as he tossed the scroll toward Orochimaru. The scroll only made it halfway when Naruto snatched it out of the air. Instead of a lecture of why Sasuke was a punk, Orochimaru became shocked to see a fireball coming his way. They tricked me. They knew I'd be expecting Naruto to scold Sasuke, but it was actually a feint. A feint to hide Sasuke long enough for him to fire off a jutsu. How did he tell him the plan? Pondered Orochimaru before it hit him. When they made eye contact. Sasuke must have placed him under a Jinjutsu to figure out a plan. Fantastic teamwork. Thought Orochimaru as he easily evaded the fireball. Impressive you two, I expected no less, said Orochimaru as he bit his thumb and ran it along a tattoo on his arm, which was really a seal. Uchius no Jutsu, summoning technique, said Orochimaru slamming his hand on the ground. Another huge snake appeared with Orochimaru atop its head as it stared menacingly out at the three genin in front of him. Not this again, said Naruto as he dodged the snake's assault at him. Shit. Thought Naruto. Dodging the snake placed him right where Orochimaru wanted him and the snake Sannin took full advantage. Orochimaru threw a jaw-breaking punch that leveled Naruto's entire body. Upon being viciously punched by Orochimaru, instead of his jaw cracking from the punch, Naruto converted into mud that dispersed immediately from the haymaker. Replacement. Amazing, said Orochimaru as he turned to see Naruto slice into the snake's head with a sword, the sword he had from the Kusa Genin from earlier. That shouldn't have happened with that piece of junk sword that flunky had. So how did he cut through? I see, he used wind chakra to slice into the snake's head. He's more impressive than I thought. Orochimaru, upon seeing his snake being sliced into, took off for Sasuke. Let's see what you do, Sasuke-kun, thought Orochimaru as he approached Sasuke rapidly. That assault stopped upon a yellow flash appeared in his face. Naruto had performed a shunshin and threw out a speedy kick to Orochimaru's face. That kick, despite its speed and abruptness, was blocked and grabbed by Orochimaru. That was an incredibly fast shunshin. He actually almost had me there. Thought Orochimaru as he smiled. If this boy joins me, he'll be one hell of an asset. If he opposes, I'll kill him before he gets the chance to ruin my ambition. For now, I need him out of the way so I can get to Sasuke. Orochimaru then extended his tongue to restrain Naruto. Naruto grew shocked at the strength of the tongue as he found himself completely immobilized. Damn, that was a mistake trying to catch him off guard. He's a Sannin and at one point was in the running for Hokage. This'll hurt. Thought Naruto as Orochimaru slammed 5 fingers into his gut before Naruto had the chance to use the Kyuubi's chakra. Dajo Fuin, 5-element seal, thought Orochimaru. Naruto immediately fell into a deep sleep after its application. He was then cast away to the forest floor as Orochimaru turned to Sasuke and Sakura. Back to just 2, show me what you're made of, Sasuke-kun, said Orochimaru. Sasuke looked spooked that Naruto could be so easily beaten. If he could beat Naruto, then what chance did he have? Naruto always won their spars, so he was clearly no match for Orochimaru. Slap. Sasuke looked shocked to see Sakura slap him. What are you doing, Sasuke? Stop acting like a punk. What would Naruto do if he was in your situation? He wouldn't sit there doing nothing, thinking he was going to die. He'd fight to the end. He's not a coward like you. You're just trying to run and cling to your life. Now man up and kick his ass. I'm gonna check on Naruto, said Sakura as she fell down to the forest floor to check on Naruto. Sasuke was shocked from what he heard Sakura say. She had never spoken to him like that, let alone strike him. It finally snapped in Sasuke when she said he was running and clinging to his life. That was what Itachi told him to do on the day of the massacre. Maybe Itachi was right, he should run away. No, he wouldn't back down. He had to fight and protect his team. He wasn't going to die here, he still had so much to do. Sakura's right. I have acted like a coward. But no more, if I can't defeat you. How can I ever hope to defeat him? Said Sasuke as he closed his eyes. I will protect my friends and teammates. I am Sasuke Uchiha and I'm going to kick your ass. Finished Sasuke as he opened his eyes. Upon opening them, Sasuke's Sharingan shifted slightly as a third Tomo appeared in both eyes. Ukikuku. Seems the blood of his clan is beginning to boil. His third Tomo has appeared. Impressive. Thought Orochimaru. Show me what you can do. Sasuke pulled out a myriad of throwing weapons and flung them at Orochimaru. Despite that, Orochimaru easily slithered out of the way to avoid all of them. I can see. Thought Sasuke as he saw Orochimaru's movements perfectly. I can see his movement so clearly now. Sasuke flung another shuriken at Orochimaru, who jumped out of the way. Orochimaru had to dodge again as Sasuke flung another kunai directly at him. Seems he can see me now. He's reading my movements perfectly and aiming for vital areas. Thought Orochimaru before he noticed Sasuke pull a string. Sasuke pulled a couple more strings as every projectile he tossed came flying back to wrap around Orochimaru. The strings wrapped around Orochimaru and pinned him to a tree. This is the Sufushisan no Tachi, manipulating windmill triple blades, thought Orochimaru before he saw Sasuke go through forehand seals. A huge stream of fire appeared and fired off down the string at Orochimaru. Heian. Ryuken no Jutsu, fire style. Fire dragon technique, said Sasuke. The powerful stream of fire blew out the back of the tree with Orochimaru in the middle of it. Sasuke blew out a sigh as he thought it was over. He turned around to head towards Naruto and Sakura when he paused at a voice. That's perfect. To be able to use your Sharingan so well at this age. You'll be everything I need. Said Orochimaru. The jutsu from earlier managed to burn half of his face off to reveal another underneath. What? How did he survive that? Thought Sasuke before he realized he couldn't move. Not again. Sasuke-kun. I had fun testing your abilities. You and Itachi are truly brothers. Though I can tell you have a higher ceiling than him. Said Orochimaru. Orochimaru threw up his heaven scroll and then proceeded to burn it in his palm. Are you really Orochimaru of the Sannin? Asked Sasuke struggling to move his body. Yes I am. Naruto-kun already figured that out. Of course he's better than you so it's not far-fetched to see him figure it out faster. However, I can give you the power you want. The power to surpass Naruto and kill Itachi. Said Orochimaru as he placed his hands in a unique tiger seal. Orochimaru's neck stretched out far towards Sasuke as he bit down on his neck. After a few moments, Orochimaru removed his teeth from Sasuke's neck and recoiled his neck back to its original length. A black seal, that took the shape of 3 Tomo, began to appear on the back of Sasuke's neck. After its appearance, Sasuke immediately screamed in pain. Eventually Sasuke blacked out from the pain and anguish of the new seal. Sasuke will seek me for power. He'll need my guidance to ever hope to catch Naruto Senju. Thought Orochimaru as he looked down at the prone Naruto. I would kill him myself as he could throw a wrench in my plans, but then the Akatsuki will come after me for tampering with their property. So he'll live today. I'll let the sound trio in these exams handle those two. Maybe I can get both to join, though one would be more than enough. Orochimaru then sunk into a tree to leave the area. One day later, it had been a day since Team 7's encounter with Orochimaru. Sakura had retrieved Sasuke and taken him and Naruto to a clearing. Naruto and Sasuke were still unconscious though from yesterday's run-in with Orochimaru. Sakura had administered first aid and medical ninjutsu to help, but sadly, she wasn't advanced enough to awaken them. She could only keep them underneath a tree as she waited for any sign of them waking. Sakura had set traps in the area to make sure her teammates remained safe for when enemies showed up while she wasn't alert. A squirrel appeared in the area and Sakura fired a kunai at it. The squirrel had almost set off a trap prematurely and luckily she scared it enough to get it away from the area. Sakura then had a heart attack as she heard a voice whisper. Sakura-chan, don't acknowledge that I'm awake. There's an explosive note on that squirrel. Meaning there are enemies in the area. Whatever Orochimaru did to me affected me good as I can feel my chakra going haywire. I won't be of much help to you said Naruto. Must have been the seal he placed on me. Placing an odd number seal over an even number seal creates an imbalance. I can't even talk to Kurama. I need to find a way to get this off. Thought Naruto as he remained still. Shortly after Naruto's announcement, 3 new arrivals appeared in the clearing. It was the trio from Sound. "Hello. Have you been up all night?" asked the mummy of the group as his teammates flanked him on both sides. "But don't worry, you can rest now. I, Dosu, and my teammates, Zaku and Kin, are here to kill Sasuke Uchiha and Naruto Senju. Sakura, be careful. I'll help you as best I can," said Naruto before he felt another presence rapidly approaching. "I know Orochimaru is pulling the strings," said Sakura as the Sound trio looked shocked. "What does he want with Sasuke-kun and Naruto? What is this mark on Sasuke-kun's neck?" asked Sakura as she pulled out a kunai. "I wonder what he's thinking," said Dosu as he pondered Orochimaru's thought process. "You give the kid a cursed seal. But want to kill him. Oh well, they were here to kill them so that's what they'll do. It doesn't matter. We were given orders to kill those two and I'm going to do it. I'll even kill this girl," said Zaku. He was about to run toward her when Dosu stopped him. "Wait Zaku." She set a booby trap. That's why she threw that kunai at the squirrel. You didn't notice the explosive note, you were just protecting your pitiful trap. You're a talentless girl who should have left to save her own life. Kill her," said Dosu as the trio jumped over the trap. The trap proved to be fake as Sakura smirked while cutting a wire next to her. That wire triggered a huge log to come barreling toward the airborne trio. However, Sakura's smirk dropped when the log exploded from Dosu merely touching it. "As I said, you're a talentless girl. People like you have to work harder to face guys like us," said Dosu as he and his team were still heading for Sakura. Their progress stopped short of Sakura as several well-placed kicks from a green blur ended their approach. "Konoha Senpu, Leaf Whirlwind," came the voice and arrival of Rock Lee as he landed in front of Sakura. "I guess you guys should work harder as well," said Lee as he stood in the beginning stance of the Goken fighting style. "Who are you?" asked Dosu. "I am Konoha's beautiful green beast, Rock Lee," said Lee as he then addressed Sakura. "Do not fear Sakura-chan. I will protect you with my life. I'll always be there when you're in trouble." Sakura became shocked when she realized Lee was assisting her. "Well thank you for saving me and my team," said Sakura as Rock Lee nodded before turning back toward the Sound trio. "Zaku, you take out Sasuke and Naruto. They're both down so it should not fail to get past the girl," said Dosu as he tossed a heaven scroll to Zaku. "I'll take the new guy." Rock Lee wanted to face all 3 of them at the same time. But due to Dosu's jutsu, his attention needed to be focused squarely on him. "Sorry guy-sensei, I'll have to use that move. I can't let Sakura-chan get hurt," thought Lee as he unwrapped his bandages slightly. Lee vanished to appear underneath Dosu and kicked him under his chin. The kick launched Dosu into the air where Lee appeared behind him. Dosu then found himself wrapped up in bandages and tilted headfirst toward the ground. "Amit Renge, front lotus," said Lee as he hugged Dosu and plummeted them toward the ground. When he smashed Dosu into the ground though, it felt odd. Seems I made it just in time," said Zaku as he had his hands planted into the ground. He had pushed hair into the dirt to create a softer landing for Dosu. "To think that technique was still that powerful, even on a sponge surface," said Dosu as he got up. "However, it's my turn," finished Dosu as he charged at Rock Lee. "This is bad. My body's," thought Rock Lee as he dodged Dosu's punch. He was still stricken by his melody arm, the same as Kabuto. Rock Lee fell to a knee as the jutsu took effect. He looked up slightly in pain to see Dosu staring at him. "You may move at high speeds, but our abilities move at the speed of sound." Dosu raised his arm as he said, "I'll show you a wall that you can't surpass with hard work alone." Before Dosu could strike down Lee, a yellow flash appeared. Along with that flash was a high-speed kick that sent Dosu sailing past his team into the woods behind them. "Sorry for my tardiness," said Naruto as he placed his leg back down. "It took a while to gather the ability to use a technique. Thank you for protecting us, Lee. I'm grateful." Before anything else could start, a strong chakra burst into the clearing. Naruto turned to see Sasuke bask in a vile purple chakra. Sasuke also had black flame-like patterns appear on his skin. That's what Sakura meant by the mark he received from Orochimaru. Seems it gave him a power boost, but there has to be a catch to all that power, thought Naruto as he saw Sasuke stand and look at his surroundings. "Sakura," said Sasuke as she looked happy to see him awake as well. However, Sasuke also noticed that Sakura looked to have been in a fight. And it was true, in the brief moment Lee was fighting with Dosu, Sakura had been going against the other 2 from Sound. "Who did that to you?" asked Sasuke. Zaku, wanting to goad Sasuke, responded with, "I did chump. What are you going to do about it?" Zaku placed his palms towards Sasuke and said, "Zankuha, decapitating airwaves." The powerful stream of air blew toward Sasuke ripping up the ground as it bellowed toward him. Once the dust cleared, Sasuke's body was nowhere to be found. He wasn't so tough. Now for the senju. Said Zaku as he pointed his hands at Naruto. Haten. Hasenka no Jutsu, fire style. Phoenix Age flower technique, came the voice of Sasuke as a dozen fireballs flew towards Zaku. Zaku smirked and fired off another blast of wind that quelled the flames, but did nothing to stop the shuriken hidden within. What? Said a surprised Zaku as the shuriken pierced him several times across his body. Upon putting down his guard, he found both of his arms held behind him with a foot pressed squarely into his back. This is for hurting Sakura. You seem to love these arms. So let's get rid of them. Said Sasuke as he began to pull on Zaku's arms. Hin tried to help her teammate, but a swift chop to the back of her neck from Naruto sent her into unconsciousness. After hearing a sickening pop, Naruto had enough. Sasuke. Stop, said Naruto as Sasuke looked toward him. Naruto, this power. It's Orochimaru's. A traitor to the leaf gave you that power. Do you not think it comes without a price, Sasuke? You need to quit using it. Said Naruto completely serious. Sasuke was feeling amazing. The power coursing through his body made him feel unstoppable. But Naruto was right. This power was corrupted, he could feel it attacking his will. Sasuke forced the seal to recede just as Dosu came back into the clearing from Naruto's earlier kick. If you let us live. You can have our heaven scroll, said Dosu. Naruto looked at Dosu for a second before he took the scroll from Zaku's injured form and flung him back over to Dosu. Dosu grew shocked that they were getting off scot-free and promptly disappeared with Kin and Zaku in tow. Sasuke looked at Naruto in disbelief. Naruto knew those guys worked for Orochimaru, so why did he just let them live? Naruto. Why didn't we kill them? We know they work for Orochimaru. We could have done away with them right away. Would you agree? Said Sasuke before he heard an explosion. Naruto was holding a half-ram seal as he said, I never agreed. Sasuke smirked at Naruto's actions. He then activated his Sharingan when Naruto spoke again. I know you're here. Neji and Tenten. So come out, said Naruto as he then pointed to the opposite side of the clearing, you as well, Shikei no Cho. Neji landed on a nearby tree branch along with Tenten. You should hand over all of your scrolls. And maybe we'll let you leave peacefully, spoke Neji confidently. You do realize that me, Sasuke and Sakura-chan are fine, right? It's 3-on-2 and not to mention. Your teammate is wounded right here. What's to say I don't kill him now? Asked Naruto as Neji took the hint. He carefully walked over to Rock Lee and carried him out of the area with Tenten. Neji did check Lee for an explosive note first before departing. Naruto-kun. You were so amazing just now. Said Ino as she was about to jump on Naruto when Shikamaru stopped her. Ino. At this moment, Naruto is the enemy. He could have harmed you and taken our scroll just now if you went toward him. Be careful. He plans to negotiate with us since he called us out. So what do you have to say? Asked Shikamaru, wary about Naruto and his intentions. Can we team up to get to the finish? We're rather handicapped at the moment and need help getting to the tower. We have an earth scroll if you need it. Said Naruto sheepishly with a laugh. What? Asked Choji because Naruto had just threatened Neji. It was a bluff, Choji, and rather well played, said Shikamaru as he thought over teaming with arguably the best team in their class. Fine, we'll team up. We do have a heaven scroll, so your extra earth scroll will get us into the tower as well. But now we have to watch our backs more since you two have hits out on you. Troublesome. Finished Shikamaru as the group of 6 headed toward the tower. Several hours later. What do you mean you never liked Sasuke-kun? Yelled Sakura. Ino laughed and said, the only reason I pretended to like him was so you'd be more confident. With me as a rival you always did strive to be better, so that's why I did it. Plus Naruto is way better anyway. Finished Ino with a smirk. She still could get Sakura's blood to boil. Is not. Is too. Is not. Is too. Troublesome, said Naruto as he realized something. I see why you say that all the time, Shika, said Naruto, now on Choji's back piggyback style. Shikamaru had Sasuke on his back as he said, yeah. Having to carry you guys here is already bad enough. Now we have to listen to Ino and Sakura, bitch. What? Said Ino and Sakura at same time as they looked murderous toward the Nara clan member. Shikamaru let out a sigh before speaking. Troublesome. Looks like we are here, said Sasuke as he and Naruto climbed off their backs. They were still having trouble from their encounter with Orochimaru, both with their own respective seal. Adrenaline earlier allowed them to move to defeat the Sound Trio. After reading the message, Shikamaru and Naruto easily realized they had to open both the scrolls at the same time. The scrolls began to smoke as out popped Iruka. Would I get summoned twice? Said Iruka before he realized there were 2 teams before him. Oh, you guys worked together, that's why. Well, congratulations you guys. You passed the 2nd exam. You still have 2 days left until the 3rd exam. So get some rest. You'll need it. Finished Iruka with a smile. All 3 rookie Genin teams passed so far, amazing. Thank you, said Shikamaru as Team 10 walked off into the tower. Upon noticing Team 7 still standing there, Iruka voiced his question. Why are you guys still? He stopped when he saw them all have serious faces. We need Gigi. Orochimaru is here. What if Naruto was grandson of Hashirama? Thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part, comment down, and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.